All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had a great and amazing Super Bowl weekend. So, good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. Yeah, I'm good. I had a fairly quiet weekend this weekend. The Super Bowl, we made a strategic decision not to watch it. So I flipped it on once and saw that it looked like an unbalanced score. And I said, all right, that's all we need to know. See you later.
I kept up with it, but all through radio, man. I got so much stuff to do, man. You got to start this thing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got kids. I want to get them in bed. This late stuff is not going to work for me, right? This is why I got to stream everything. I record it. So I just kept up with it with radio. And, man, I haven't seen a beating this bad since I snuck out the window and took my dad's car for a joyride and came back at 3 in the morning. This was a big beating. This was big. This is you stole some from
those emotions, eh? Wow. Okay.
Ooh, this was not even close. Yeah. So
now that being said, my family, within my family, I suppose there was a big party. My son, he likes the Super Bowl and he had a lot of fun with it. He put on a big party, 11 different courses or dishes or whatever he made for his friends, and he went all out, man. It was pretty impressive what the spread he put on. Now, got to remember, he's in Scotland, so he started this thing at 11:30 at night and went till like 3 in the morning or whatever. So it was an event,
sure.
Anyway. So
I'm sure anybody in Scotland looking to get any work done today is not going to be productive if they were watching the Super Bowl. All right, friends, let's get to it. Quick look at our gappers list this morning. As you can see here, we got a lot in the green. Again, markets are kind of bouncing back from the sell-off. I believe it was Thursday, right? We had a nice sell-off. Bouncing back a little bit here. We've seen plenty of stuff in the green. News on steel, news on more tariff on specific areas from Trump over the weekend. I mean, just a lot going on here. And you can see also some Chinese stickers on deck this morning. So a whole lot to get through. Uber is up again. We'll talk about Uber. That was incredible on last week. And then on the downside, just a few that Quantum not doing too good. RGTI, QUBT on the downside, both of them here. So we'll see what's driving some of those actions. All right, our U.S. economic calendar today. Let's go to that.
Look, I guess the plan was to watch the Super Bowl and then sleep in because the economists have nothing on the slate for today. I mean, absolutely nothing. Normally it's nothing, and there's a bunch of like small stuff. Today it's like literally nothing. There is nothing going on. So yeah, quiet day. We can just focus on a couple of things that have earnings and whatever's on the gappers list.
Yep, absolutely. So pretty light there. All right, let's start dissecting this gappers list here, guys. On the top of the gappers list, let's do the top 5 or so. Then we're gonna hop around. There's some real good ones on here that we want to make sure we have time for. So let's do the top 5 only, and maybe even less. A BDRX today. We'll dive into that one. This morning they're up 77%. Biodexa Pharmaceutica is up here pretty nice this morning. So I'm assuming they found some phase trial, something happening here, Peter, that's making them look really good today.
Yeah, well, so the one thing you can count on is when it's a Monday, we always get a bunch of these biotechs on here. Now, this is out of the UK, Biodexa Pharmaceuticals, and they received the U.S. FDA Fast Track designation for a treatment in, I don't know what this is. I'm afraid to say it, in familial adenomatous polyposis, FAP. If you have FAP, help may be on the way. If you don't, you're probably like me. I do not know what I just said, and I probably didn't say it right. So whatever that is, they got a fast track approval for it.
All right, there we go. So that's looking pretty good here. What's the float on this thing? Let's take a look. This is showing, actually, is that right? 2.1 billion?
No, that can't be right. I
That doesn't seem right.
I show only 360,000 shares outstanding, which means that the available float is usually a little smaller than that.
Right.
This is a company that I think only has like a $2 million market cap. So yeah, this is tiny.
Yeah.
This is a
Maybe that's
little baby company.
maybe they meant a B rather than I'm sorry, an M rather than a B. So
Yeah, yeah,
big
that's
difference
probably
between
right.
those two letters. Huge
Yeah, yeah, a
difference.
little difference there.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Let's make sure we get that corrected. All right, let's look BBAI today. Let's take a look here. We've seen this plenty of times. If you look at our daily here, has been very, very active over the last couple of days. Last week especially. Today's no different. We're up 8.1, 11.3 million shares traded. Peter, the fun continues on our big bear AI.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see them here this morning. So this is not a pharmaceutical company. This is just a random AI. Why are they here? That is a darn good question. Not really sure. I really think that they do have a secondary offering that's supposed to be coming up later this week, I believe, but I don't know why that would cause it to move today. So, um, yeah, Carlos, it's a mystery to me.
Yeah, so nothing as far as news there, but again, it's been active all last week as well.
Look
So
at the volume though. Damn,
yeah, volume on it. Yeah, volume
tremendous.
is pretty. It's even for a lower price stock, volume is 11.3 on it. So it's
I mean, it had some
mhm.
big moves last week, so maybe this is just a continuation of that. And it sometimes this happens when you get quiet markets when there's not much else going on. People say, "Well, what was going on last week?" And this was so. Maybe this is where just the action landed. Because yeah, I don't really see any news on it. I mean, if any of you out there have something, let us know. But really, I see some conjecture as to what's moving, but no actual news. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little strange.
All right. So yeah. So there it is. Again, could be in play today. I don't know. I might look at it. It looks interesting. The volume is great. We'll have to see. It's 172 million shares flow is what I'm showing here. So not a low flow stock at a lower price. Over in chat, we were saying BBAI made some big moves early last week after landing an AI contract. Yeah, I think that's what was last week, right? So maybe continuation
Yeah.
from that. But yeah, looking good this morning. Maybe it'll be on a secondary. Next on the list will be CLF, and this is Cleveland Cliffs. And a few of these are going to be on the list here today. But these guys are up 7.2, 721,000 shares traded. Not typically a great trading stock. It usually never makes my list. We talk about it a couple of times a year, but I'm not a fan of the type of volume they get and how the price action is, Peter. So it's not going to be on my list. Your thoughts on this one today?
Yeah, so we only see these guys occasionally, usually when there's maybe earnings or tariff news. So that's what we got. We got news out of the White House that Trump says that he's going to try and rework the deal that got shut down by the Biden administration in terms of remember Nippon Steel that was going to buy U.S. steel. Well, they prevented that, saying they didn't want the steel industry, I guess, completely out of U.S. hands. And Trump is suggesting that he would allow Nippon Steel to invest, but not buy outright the company. So what that would look like, I don't know. And it's really then becomes a secondary play with Cleveland Cliffs because they would benefit obviously from a stronger steel industry in the U.S. Yeah, I mean X so far today, which is U.S. Steel directly. Interestingly, not really reacting to that news, whereas Cleveland Cliffs seems to have reacted a little bit more. I mean, I guess if you look at the relative float size of these companies, it would make sense that Cleveland Cliffs would move a little bit more. X is much more institutionally held, and would keep it stable. Maybe it's going to take off at the open. Who knows? Now, we have to keep in mind, right? The market moves based on the rumor, and the rumor, of course, is based on this statement that was made at some point over the weekend. What does that actually mean? Is Nippon Steel even willing to put money behind it? Are there even any talks with the company? We have to understand that the executive branch currently will make statements without necessarily having it doesn't mean that there's an actual conversation being had. So it could be interesting. These two, X and CLF, might be interesting because they are news driven at the moment. And as we know, with the Trump presidency, we are news driven on a lot of offerings, which can provide some very interesting opportunities but they could be they could be very volatile. So just be aware of that. I can't believe I'm saying that, X will be volatile, but there you have it. It's possible.
Yeah, it can be. And also, one of the things that's positive for them is possible tariffs on anybody with aluminum. I think he mentioned bringing aluminum and also steel into the U.S. So that obviously, if you're a domestic company, is going to help U.S. Companies, if that does take place. So we'll see what happens. Again, news related all the time. We'll have to see how things shape out here. I do see a couple on here, BP, which normally doesn't trade great, but today they're up 6.8, 665,000 shares traded. We've seen them gap up big like this and down before plenty of times. Normally, again, not a great trading ticker, but today this gap up, Peter, of 6.8 looks pretty decent here this morning. What's driving them, and is there anything that we can take advantage of here?
Yeah, there's an activist investor, Elliott, Elliott Group, I guess, that they tend to dump money into different places and then look for seats on the board so they can actually influence the direction of a company. They've taken a pretty big stake in British Petroleum here, or hey, these are one of these companies we were talking about last week, right? They're not called British Petroleum anymore. They'd like to be called BP. But you can't forget who they actually are. So, and that investment, I guess, is seen as positive. Now, it can usually go, obviously one of two ways, right? Sometimes that activist investment, it doesn't go well for the company in the short term, but here we can see it jumping up this morning. Look, this isn't a sector that we normally stay away from, right? Oil and gas, tough to trade. That being said, like you were mentioning, Carlos, just a second ago, Trump did announce this weekend that he was looking at new tariffs on different products. He's mentioned some steel and was it tin, I think, and steel? Anyways, and tariffs can have, it would be obvious to look for tariffs on oil since the U.S. is such a big net importer of oil from various places. No details, but he did say that more announcements were coming today. So, BP, another one that normally I'd say boring, not a good trading stock, actually could be volatile today because it completely depends on what those announcements are out of the White House. And if they touch on this sector, what are they going to say? What is the announcement, if any, on what these tariffs might look like? So, there's going to be a lot of stuff that could get wrapped up in this, depending on what the announcement is, or if there's an announcement at all.
Yep, absolutely. So you're right. Could be one with all this news, that one that is in play today. I want to save some ammo for some of the good stuff that we had towards the bottom here. So we'll see. Maybe a secondary, if anything. All right, this is going to be good today, hopefully. SMCI. So if we take a look at this one, SMCI. What do we have here? We are up 5.54 million shares traded, so tons of volume here. These guys have earnings coming up, if it's correct, because they move their earnings so many times. It's going to be tomorrow afternoon on Tuesday. So we'll see. But getting some love here, man. They're up 5.4 right now. What's the latest and greatest on SMCI?
I think it's everybody just looking forward to that Tuesday announcement. The anticipation is that, because it's been in the wings for so long, everybody's been waiting for this for so many months that I think there's a little bit of anticipatory buying going on here, thinking that SMCI is going to have something good to announce. Now, they might not, right? Because, it's taken so long to get the numbers out. They could very well say, look, the performance may not have been what you expected, even if there was no problems with the books. But look, to me, I feel like there's a lot of downside risk on this when the announcement come out, right? Because if the announcement comes out and says, here's the numbers and it's not quite what you expect, it could drop. If it comes out and says, look, we did find some problems, but they've since been rectified, that could shake some confidence, and SMCI could drop. If it's rising today, though, this could very well be in play, because we saw it in play for a good portion of last week, and we're seeing it continue this morning. So I'm not sure what to do with it, Carlos. I didn't trade this at all last week. I'm not sure if you went anywhere near it. It wasn't as easy to trade as the daily chart would look like. It looks like it was pretty easy, right? Buy in the morning, sell at the close, and you would have made some money. The price action over the course of the day was pretty choppy. So I've stayed away from it. Probably will again today.
Yeah, I didn't watch it over the last couple of days. Actually, we've been talking about it because we want to see their earnings coming up, and I think that's when we'll see some action. But you're right. Look at this Friday. You had just one move, then after that, what happens here? Every candle overlapping the previous candle. That is tough trading, man. Because the problem is you get in short here, boom, comes right back to your break even again. So now your mental state is being tested whether you want to stay in or not, right? You go long here, okay, you get a big move, but then right back down the next candle to your entry again. So that's hard trading. That's not easy because every time coming back to test your break even, then that's when things get a little bit hectic. So not great over the last couple of days. We'll see. I think as a secondary, just leading to these earnings, man, might be some fun here, but we'll take a look at him. Secondary for me for now. We'll see how it goes. All right, another one that I actually like quite a bit is Baba. So if we take a look at Baba here this morning, we are up 4.5, 903,000 shares traded. This stock over the last 2-3 weeks, I mean, just look at the daily, how nice this has been. It's been rocking here. It was at 82 in the, what's this? This was beginning of January, yeah, beginning of the year actually. And since then has made its way up to 108 here. So slowly grinding higher, even with all these tariff and all these talks. Baba has found a way to get going, and a lot of it is, Peter, because of this AI rumor or whatever is going on, is working in their favor.
Yeah, it does seem to be. I mean, they seem to be one of the beneficiaries, perhaps, of all of this AI talk and the fact that there's cheaper Chinese AI models coming out than what has been built by a lot of the big, heavy investing companies like Meta and Google and Apple and on and on, Microsoft, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see what happens. Alibaba does provide access to a lot of AI models within their ecosystem. You got to think of them, like they're like a big Amazon. They like to provide a little bit of everything on their systems, and they provide access to DeepSeek as well as some derivatives, because remember, there is open source code in there, so people can take and develop their own models off of the DeepSeek type platform. And being that they're offering them, making them available, doesn't mean that they've got an investment in them. So I think that's where the confusion is, that there's a suggestion they got a heavy investment, which the company has denied. That being said, they've added to their cloud computing services where you could buy basically cloud compute environments that have embedded AI, like DeepSeek models, embedded into that cloud platform. So, I guess that's the thought, right? Because they're offering it for sale, people think they have a big investment. They're just trying to make money off of it, like everybody else, I suppose. So, in any event, they're going up this morning, and Carlos, you were talking about this on Friday a little bit. Wasn't sure whether to be a fan or not. They've had some good moves over the last couple of days. I don't know, how long that's going to continue. The Friday price action wasn't the easiest, but it was actually encouraging for me to see the price move a little bit more, because man, over the last, I don't know, year and a half, Baba has not been as much fun as it used to be to trade. So I'm all for these getting back to a little bit more interesting trading. I don't know what I think about the stock price being up as high as it is, back up over $100, sitting at 108 this morning. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just watch the price action. I'll probably put this on a secondary list just to see what happens, just to see if it continues to play, because at least I know this will continue to get consistent volume, unlike some other things that the volume and spread gets very spotty.
Yeah, I agree, and you're right. If you look at it over November, December, these candles are very small. We're gapping up and down, but all the actions happen overnight, and then during the day, which are trading hours, you're not getting a whole lot of movement. So, looking forward to seeing something better throughout the coming days here. All right, so I'll put Baba on my list here. And let's see what else is on deck. So if we're looking at our tradingterminal.com scanners, guys, you can get that for free over at tradingterminal.com. Well, we looked at SMCI, we looked at Baba. We're going to hop around here. We kind of talked about X a little bit in Cleveland Cliffs. Yeah. Yep, so we did talk about that already. So we'll hop around a little bit here. Peter, anything you like on the gap up list that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, it's not on our gap up list because it didn't gap up high enough, but I'm really surprised to see DKNG in the green at all. Now, it's not in the green by much, right? Relatively low volume this morning. It's up by about 0.5%. This is what we like to call Donkey Kong, but it's really DraftKings. We talked at the outset about the Super Bowl blowout, and of course, I was trying to think, well, so what does that mean for stocks? What stock could be impacted? To me, this is the most obvious pick as to what could be impacted. As a betting app, usually it's not good for betting services when there's a big blowout, because that means some far out long range bets. It's usually the avid fans. If you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, you might have bet on a heavy blowout, right? It's the big spread activity. I mean, I think Carlos, I don't know what you were thinking, but I think most people believed it would be a much closer game than it was. So if you took that big long bet that had big odds, it's paying out pretty nicely today. So DKNG could be taking a hit based on the betting action. Haven't heard though. Look, maybe they just had record betting action overall, and it's going to compensate, and it'll still be a good morning. I don't know if we're going to hear this quickly, right? Usually it takes a little while for them to compile the data and confidently announce to the market what the results were. But I was expecting Donkey Kong to take a little bit more of a hit. So DKNG, might keep an eye on this morning. The other one I was surprised to see on the list was Robinhood. And Hood is the ticker on that one. It was gapping up. I don't really see a lot of news on it, but it's just one of those that I just feel that they were sort of getting a little bit more volume over the last little while, a little more price action. I mean, we can certainly see that. I'm actually very surprised that, through all of last year, well, the majority of last year, and through certainly the last quarter, the last 3 months, Robinhood has been moving higher quite aggressively. I mean, it's more than doubled in price since November. And it's actually, maybe as a longer term stock looking good. As a trading stock, it always strikes me as a little ironic that the trading companies rarely trade well. But Robinhood, IBKR, if you look up their stock, never trades very well. But anyways, their earnings are coming, I think. Is it next week or later this week? I should have looked that up before I mentioned them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Wednesday, actually, the Wednesday after the close. So it is later this week. So so they could have some movement into earnings. But I saw them on the list there, so I thought I would mention it. Other than that, Carlos, on the gap up list, to me, semiconductors are probably still a good way to go. I was watching Nvidia earlier this morning. It's got fairly good volume. I mean, I would say about average, about 7 million shares traded so far. So Nvidia, sort of in play as it usually is. Pick any semi that you want. They're all green this morning.
Yeah, I do like Nvidia. I'm gonna add that one to my list as well. So right now I got Baba Nvidia on the primary list, and then I have SMCI on my secondary. So that's what we have for now. And there's some interesting ones too, right? We just talked about this BBAI, which continues to just, push higher here over the last couple of days. So that could be interesting. I'm actually, not typically a stock that I trade, but I do want to watch these guys. Be careful. The flow seems to be a little bit lower, but they're moving pretty decent here today. Actually, no, sorry. Their flow is actually 172. The low one is that BDRX, which is very, very dangerous, to be careful with that. So BBAI is a higher flow at 172 right over here. So excellent. All right. Down, friends. Let's get to what's capping down this morning. ON is first. ON. Not a lot on here this morning. ON Semiconductor is down 4.7, a million shares traded. Probably the least favorite of my semiconductor stocks, Peter. I'm not sure about you, but I really rather watch something else. But they look to be in play today.
Yeah, they had earnings this morning, so not a particularly brilliant earnings quarter for them. What really, though, is pushing the stock down, of course, is their forward-looking guidance. So their guidance was a lot weaker than the market expected, and being that most semis were projecting higher, this was a double disappointment, I would say, and yeah, that's why they're dropping. So, and they'll probably continue to drop after the open. Now, and Semi, not one of the semiconductors I normally watch. Even in this pre-market, they only have about just over 1 million shares traded so far. I mean, you can look at the daily, and you can see tiny little candles, small range. Not one of my favorite stocks, but they had earnings, so if that's enough to put it in play for you, then expect some downward movement.
Yeah. I you know what? I want to watch them. They are in play. I'm not sure. So you know what? We'll put them on a secondary. It's the least of my favorite, but given that today could be their day, they could actually end up doing something here. So we'll put them on the secondary for now. Let's see when the big volume comes in, which way this thing does go. But again, I'm with you. NVIDIA and some other good ones are going to be top of the line here. All right, heading back to our gappers list this morning, brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. QUBT and IonQ are on here today. So some quantum action towards the downside today. If we look at QUBT first, this one is down 3.4, 682,000 shares traded. But they have been, they've been pure garbage, guys. Let's just look at this daily. There's nothing going on here. Was it this one or QUBT that had that weird candle on me? If you guys remember last week, it had like
QBTS. And
right,
you know what?
like,
the weird thing is, I see those candles this morning myself.
Oh, funky.
So I don't know what's good. See, like that you don't now. See,
now
today
they're back.
You don't have them, and
I got them. No, I got them because I was looking at QUB.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, here they are.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're there. So
yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but I don't remember those days. I don't think those days actually happened. Yeah, I've got the exact same two little candles up there. That feels like there's some
I bet you they're the same day
on
too, right? It's the 8th and was the 15th or something, the 17th. It's probably the same 17th. Exact days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
same days,
it's
same
funny,
candles.
like if I exit, I'm just gonna close my platform and I'm just gonna open it right back up here live for you guys. Don't look at my account number. Although you can't do much of the account number. We've Intacted Brokers has great security. You gotta once you log in, get on your phone. It's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do. QBTS. They're still there. Last time they disappeared, but they're still here.
Yeah, they're not going away this time.
What's going on?
Yeah, there's some data problem in the back end there. Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. There it is, man. All right. So QUBT and also IonQ, Rigetti as well, Peter, on the list. All these quantum stocks just slightly down 2%, 3.3, 3.8. Any news on overall quantum and there's some of the small weaknesses? Not a big drop here.
Yeah, there's nothing new, really. I mean, last week, if you remember, there was a bunch of people putting counterpoints in to the big statement that the Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, made that the value in quantum will be 15 to 30 years out. Others are saying, you know what? There's actually going to be more short-term interim value. People like Gates and some other CEOs were saying that, you know what? It won't take that long for some value. Actual quantum computers are probably that far out, but value out of quantum computing could be a lot closer. So again, I haven't really seen anything new on that front. I think this might just be, because there's nothing new, they're getting a little bit of the hangover and a drop here this morning. But they'll continue to be in play. If you like this sector, continue to play them. I think I was watching one or two of them, and the spread was relatively high on Friday is what I'm trying to say. So, just be careful. Make sure you're watching that spread because that can really erode the value of a trade. If you get in and you're immediately down, 30, 40, 50 cents on the trade. So just make sure you factor that into your trade plan.
Yeah. Again, they're all down here on the gap up list, making the big chunk of the gap down this morning. But again, I don't think they're really in play. One that's fun to watch that just keeps going on and off the list here is RGTI. I mean, this can be very explosive, although they've been stuck on this nasty daily. They do give you some good scalping opportunities. You got to be quick, though, right? They'll pop up for a couple of candles and then slam back down. But like they did, especially here, and a lot of these days, you see that wick right? And usually it's made up of a couple of 5-minute candles up and then slamming back down. So scalping opportunities on it. But again, you got to have that trading style to be able to take advantage of it. So could be fun. I'm gonna throw it on a secondary. I think they're fun to even watch, man. I don't know if it's just to look at this price action or just say the name Rigetti Spaghetti. I don't know what it is, but they'll be on my secondary today. All right, Peter, that covers our gap down list. Do you have anything that we have not covered this morning that's gapping down?
Well, I'll just mention a couple of the earnings that happened this morning, and some of them are confusing. We'll start with McDonald's off the top. MCD had earnings, and I don't know. I find McDonald's a tough one to trade on many days. We don't have a lot of volume this morning. It is a NYSE stock trading on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, in the quarter, again, it's confusing. The reported numbers seem to be below estimates, both on revenue and on earnings. That being said, there's been a couple of articles that said that they beat on their numbers. So I'm not sure what to believe. It feels like, it seems there's more reporting that they missed their numbers. And their forecasts, I'm not sure. I mean, if sales were weak, I would assume that their forecast would be low, but the stock is up almost 2%. So I'm not sure what to believe on this. So it's confusing to me. That being said, this stock price is sitting right at a very round number at $300. And it's still one of those stocks that I try not to talk to my wife about, because it's one of the ones she told me to buy many years ago, and we didn't, and should have. So anyways, will it be in play today? Not sure. I sometimes watch this just to see what it's going to do after earnings. Today might be such a day. I said, but volume's pretty low. So do with that what you will. Again, confusing stock for me. A couple others that had earnings, since we were talking semiconductors earlier. The only other semiconductor I see that had earnings was Tower Semiconductor. TSEM is the ticker on that. And it looks like they, like most semiconductors, actually had a good quarter. They beat on their fourth quarter numbers. Their demand was in line with analyst expectations, but not higher. So it looks like that, they gave an okay forecast, but not a great one, which is why it wasn't enough for them to people get super, super excited. And they are gapping down actually so far this morning, about 4.5%, but on very low volume. So this is, by the way, an Israeli semiconductor. So there's a lot of foreign concern over that as well, because it's not a U.S. onshore stock. All right. The only other one that I had on my gappers list, on the earnings list that I wanted to mention was Monday.com, MNDY. This is one that basically has never traded well. I really had high hopes that when this came onto the market a couple of years ago, that it would be a great trader, and it really never has been. I think we started trading this back in 2020, 2021, sometime like that, and it has just never really traded with enough volume to be interesting. But they had earnings. Looks like they beat top and bottom line. Had a good quarter, but probably not going to get volume today like it rarely has. So there you go. That's what I had for earnings.
Yeah. All right. Excellent, man. Yeah, I'm with you with Monday.com. Not a great trading stock, but man, they are up today, the 27% here this morning. All right, friends. Let's go to you guys. Let's see what you guys like today. So far on my list, we have Baba, Nvidia on the main list. On the secondary, SMCI, BBAI, and Semiconductor on. Again, one of not my favorite, but today is on there. Let's take a look what you guys like this morning. I see OKLO being thrown out. First one on deck right out of the gates. OKLO. Let's take a look here. This daily looks pretty nice. How can you not watch this ticker? We have been putting it on our list lately. I was concerned at first. I'm like, this ticker is just going to come and die out. But this thing has been in play every single day. So we'll be on my list today again. Man, it looks really, really nice. Let's just go ahead and add OKLO right on here. Peter, again, the fun continues on this stock. Anything new in the last couple of days?
I mean, as a trader, it's been interesting. Again, you look at Friday. I was watching this one Friday, and At the open, it looked fantastic, but it didn't last very long. Right after that, it just sort of got choppy and then lost, about a third of what it had gained. But it kept most of it. I mean, it kept the other 2/3. But the afternoon was pretty choppy and it wasn't so good. But yeah, if you're an open trader, OKLO has been giving you some fun, a little bit of action there. That being said, no company news, nothing new out of the company or on its business that would give rise to any particular expectation of movement today. I can see that it's gapping down a little bit, but after the rise it's had for the last couple of weeks, you got to expect it to give a little bit back. So yeah, Carlos, I don't know what to expect, but it certainly has been in play.
Yeah, it sure has. Another one I'm seeing here on both sides is Uber. We'll take a look at how Uber is doing today. These guys been in play. These guys normally they don't trade very well, but the last couple of days, the last couple of trading days, if you look at this daily here, they've been on fire. I mean, they just been moving. They're getting great volume. This is not your typical Uber type daily candles, right? They usually get one big day here, and then they go back to trading very small, lower than usual volume. But the volume lately has been insane. This morning already, 1 million shares traded, so we got tons of volume on it, 942 to be exact, up 3.1. I'm gonna watch this because if you look at the intraday action. It's funny. We tag these stocks sometimes, Peter, with like, okay, you're not a great trading stock, and most times we won't watch it. But then you do a couple of back-to-back days like this, and it starts changing the way we think about it, and say, hey, maybe it's, at least for the next couple of short-term periods, it's going to change the way it trades. And Uber has been somewhat doing that, man. So I'm going to have it on my list. Not sure if you've been convinced to put it on yours, but it's looking rather nice.
It has actually been looking surprisingly nice. And we did get last week, there's nothing new. No news, by the way, that's new. But to remind you of last week's news, they did announce some disappointing forward-looking guidance. However, that was just seen as a buy opportunity for some deep-pocketed investors such as Bill Ackman, who announced that he's accumulated over 30 million shares and has a position worth about $2.3 billion and is looking to accumulate more. So there is, I mean, that puts it in play, right? Often when you get sort of big investors who say they're taking a stake, that can cause the others to jump in behind. So, Carlos, I'm not sure that it's enough, like you said, to convince me to really watch it very closely, because that news is sort of passive. Like Ackman is going to be accumulating over the next little while, and the investors like Bill Ackman play a longer game than we do. They're not day trading, right? He's taking a longer position looking for corporate growth, which could very well happen. Doesn't mean we get good trading between now and when that occurs.
Yep, agreed. Friends, I'll put it on my list here. We'll see how it goes. Again, the last couple of days trading very well. Let's see how long that can continue. All right, anything else you guys like? I see we did talk about Hood, Raul, so I don't really like that one, so I'm not going to be watching it as much. I do have Baba on my list, so it's right on here. I think it looks great today. Also has been trading much better in the last month, 30 days or so than it usually does, so it will be on my list this morning. I saw BBAI. I did put this on my secondary. So yes, it is in play. We did talk about it. So BBAI, obviously a good move here, some great volume. I have it on deck. We'll see how this plays out. Anything else? Is that App Lovin'? AAP? App Lovin'? No, it's Advanced Auto Parts. Okay. No. No, I don't like this at all.
AAP? Oh, okay. Yeah. Because APP is that's the App Lovin'. Anyways. Yeah.
Oh, so you want APP. That's App Lovin'. Let's look at APP. Okay, that makes me feel better because this one was about to get the garbage truck. Let's go to APP here. This is still not great, better than what we just saw, but yes, low volume, which is typically how they trade here. Again, we've seen this stock plenty of times. We've seen them make really big moves, but the volume just doesn't come in. So for me, as an opening trader looking for that explosiveness, I know I'm not going to get it on this ticker, right? So depending on your style, you could like it. I don't like it at all today. I think it's really not in play for the way I trade. So yeah, we'll skip on that one. All right, friends, let's stop here. I think we got a pretty decent list, and who knows what's gonna come in with some volume and develop throughout the morning here. But let's head over to bearwithtraders.com and let's see what's happening when it comes to our beautiful community events. Today's Monday, so we'll look at what's happening today.
Yeah, so let's focus in on today. And we have on Monday always the opportunity for new traders to make sure that they get up to speed quickly. And we want to offer traders, both those that are joining the Bear Bull trading community and those that are signed up for the next boot camp. We want you to start thinking about getting ready for that boot camp because it's a pretty intensive course. We're in the middle of the current boot camp, and the next one will be coming up in May. So you've got some time, but that doesn't mean you can't start working on it right now. So let's start with the Bear Bull Traders community activities. We've got 2 sessions for you today, starting with the DOS Trader Pro setup, which Brendan takes you through and really helps you understand how you can get the most out of that tool. We often share tips and tricks. We were talking about data, interesting data in there this morning. So the tool's only as good as the data that it receives, but the tool itself also has a lot of ins and outs, a lot of things you need to know about it. So if you want to learn more, Brennan can help you understand how to configure it and troubleshoot any problems you might be experiencing. And if you're new to trading overall, or you just joined the Bear Bull trading community, then we strongly encourage you to join the onboarding course that we have tonight at 8 p.m. Carlos leads that, and it's an opportunity to understand what you can get out of your membership, how to make the most of it, and also, how to get started in trading. Where do you look first? What do you focus on? What things should you pay attention to? Carlos will go over all of that and help you with any questions, specific questions you might have. So hopefully you will join. Or if you're an experienced member and want to help out the newbies, then we encourage you to do that as well. Join in there in the onboarding room tonight at 8 o'clock. So that P Capital course that I mentioned is happening at 1 p.m. Okay, that's going to be in the P Capital Google Meet room. If you're a P Capital member, then you've been given access to that. That's over at the P Capital Trading website. You can find it there under the boot camp section. So if you're a subscribed boot camper, you should be able to find your way into that. But that's only for people that have already signed up as a boot camp participant. So there you go. Mike will be leading that session, and that's happening at 1. So keep those sessions in mind, noon and 8 o'clock for Bear Bull traders, and then 1 o'clock for Peak Capital boot campers. If you want information on the markets at any time, Trading Terminal is the place to go. It's got everything you need, from the news to the calendar of events to the scanners that we use in the morning and can use all day to keep on top of the market. So check it out. It's all that stuff is free. The only thing you pay for in there are some of the specific courses that people put a lot of work into. There's some great courses of study in there under the Academy. Go check that out. And you can see those sometimes under the webinar. We've got new and free stuff there. So if you want to understand what those courses might look like, check out the webinar section, and you can find some webinar activity that are happening at the Trading Terminal site and in their environment. And if you wanted to join us at Bear Bull Traders in the chat room that runs every hour that the market is open, not only can you share information, you get 1,000 eyes staring at the market to help you out with your trading. You can also get some good conversation and a lot of fun because, there's some good jokes that's happen in here sometimes. Good banter and conversation, and it's a great group of traders. So hopefully you'll join us. We've got our Valentine's Day sale. Love is in the air, everybody. And you can use the code LOVE55 to get a discount off that Elite Annual package. So whether you want to just join with the intro and kick the tires or go all the way to the Elite Annual, you can see the relative price ranges there, and hopefully you'll pick the package that's right for you and join us in the chat room at some time soon. So for that, hopefully, again, we'll see you in the chat room at some point soon. All right, let's set some levels, Carlos, and then I will let everybody know what our moderators are watching.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Peter. All right, let's take a look at what I have on deck. So my list right now made up of my primary Baba, NVIDIA, OKLO, and Uber. Another one that I was thinking about as we were just kind of going over this announcement was Meta, right? Meta has been pretty fun as it continues to push above this all-time highs. Every day last week, I think they broke all-time highs. So it's kind of broke it here. Maybe got close, broke it on Friday. So they've just been slowly grinding higher. intraday's been okay, but you got a couple of moves. Like sometimes you get a nice little pop later in the day. When I'm on with Avi between 11 and 12, we do see some great breakouts. So maybe we might be able to see that today. So I'm going to add that one to my secondary as well. I won't do levels here, but we'll be ready because levels are easy on that. Levels are basically, you got the all-time highs there and then the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. All right, let's take a look. Baba, let's start here with the high of the pre-market this morning. We are looking at 109.06, so that's our pre-market high today, so we'll mark that there. And then the low is hanging out at 107.04, so 107.04, just slightly below the highs from yesterday. If you look at this daily here from Friday, last trading day, if you look at it right here, that's the high from the last trading day. And then beyond that, under that, you have the highs and lows, previous day close for the last 2 trading days. If we head over to the left here and we look at levels above the pre-market high, we are going to find a nice area here. 110.40 is a good one, and then we also have over here 112.43. Once you do that, you're pretty set on Baba. Heading over to Nvidia, if we look at Nvidia here again, trying to switching tickers, there we go. If we look at Nvidia and we zoom in here, there we go, we have a level at 131.10. There it is. And then above that, if we look at different levels here, we have 133.38, and then we also have 135.91. Towards the bottom, we do have the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days on Nvidia. Again, looking pretty good this morning. 8.8 million shares traded, so nothing explosive, but man, we know the stock can trade very well, and again, seems to be climbing higher, trying to get away from the lows that it had recently here. OKLO, this thing is just on fire. Look at this daily, continues to move higher. Levels on this is very easy because we have highs and lows for the last 2 trading days surrounding the price action. We are going to slam a level at 57.84 and then one at the pre-market low at 54.20, and once you do that, guys, you're set. Don't have to add anything else. Beautiful daily here. Let's see if this continues, and we're getting the volume and the action here today. So we do have shares for short as well. I know sometimes that cannot be there, but with Interactive Brokers, we do have the shares for short as well. So very nice. One of my favorite tickers today. This daily looks amazing. And Uber, let's see how long this can continue. Again, the last couple of days, if we go back here, it's been trading pretty good. This was Friday. Again, it just took off and we were watching it just keep going here. And this was Thursday, same thing Thursday. And I don't expect this to continue, but if we can continue to get good trading days out of this, that would be nice. I don't think it's going to last. I think Uber will revert back to its regular low volume type trading. But if we can take advantage of a couple of days while this is happening, why not? So here we go. All right, let's take a look here at what do we have here as far as levels goes. High of the pre-market is going to be over at 77.34, so we'll slam one there. The low of the pre-market is just slightly above the previous day close at 74.82. Your previous day close right there at 74.60. And if we look to the bottom, we do have the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days all the way down here. But before we get there, we do have some levels here we want to mark down, which is going to be right over here at 73.11 is good. And then if you look at above the pre-market high, we have 78.74. And we also have 80.03. So that's Uber. I like the way this looks this morning and the way it's been looking over the last couple of days. And looking forward to see how that is going to play out. All right, Peter, take us through what our team is watching this morning. Peter, you're on mute.
I am on mute again. I do that every time. All right. A number of our moderators have got their lists in, and as usual, there's a lot of commonality in those lists. So we'll start with Avi, that he's watching the usual. I probably don't have to tell anymore. The Magnificent Seven and AMD. That's his list. It's always been his list. It seems like it'll continue to be his list. Thor is watching actually some of the same old Amazon and Nvidia today, keeping it tight, and then of course watching the market indices overall. Nathan says he's watching the same as Avi, so there you go, sticking to the big boys out there in the market. Megan's going to be watching Nvidia, Tesla, and Amazon. Pierre's watching OKLO, Uber, SMCI, Tesla, and Nvidia. Mike is going to be watching Nvidia, OKLO, and Baba. I'm sticking to my usual 3, plus I'll be keeping an eye on Meta, Baba, and CLF. That being said, if everybody's watching OKLO, I'm feeling left out. Maybe I'll add that. I'm not sure. Definitely no IPOs and no SPACs today. don't usually have any on Monday, and as a quiet Monday, there's none today. Brian is going to be focusing on NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, and AMD, and Brendan will be watching NVIDIA, SMCI, Tesla, and PLTR. Carlos has already told you his list. He's going to be watching Baba, NVIDIA, OKLO, and Uber, and with a secondary eye on SMCI, BBAI, and ON Semiconductor. So keep an eye there. Just keep in mind, Andrew is climbing mountains in South America, and he will be off again this week. He'll dial in when he can. But we don't worry. We've got live trading happening with you. We've got some expert traders. They'll be trading live through the morning. So stay tuned. They'll be coming on here shortly. And Brian, as usual, out here. And I think Thor's in with them. So the two of those will be taking the reins and telling you what they see through the open and trading with you here as we wait for this opening bell. Could be an interesting one. Like we said, there's nothing on the economic calendar for today. However, you know what? We're always waiting for news these days. So, I have to admit, we're only a couple of weeks into this presidency, and I'm remembering what it feels like or what it felt like all those years ago when Trump was president last time. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it keeps you on your toes, right? It really keeps you focused as a trader because you never know when the market's going to move. And look, Friday, we had an experience of that, didn't we? Because there was just a rumor of a White House announcement, and the market did a few little dipsy doodles there where you had to be very careful in a trade because things would move very suddenly in the opposite direction that they were trending in. So just continue to be very cautious out there. Again, some great trading opportunity. You just need to be careful with this. Trade smart, and you can profit from these markets.
Yep, absolutely. And I hear our good buddy Thor is hopping on here. Good morning, Thor. And Brian should be coming on any second as well. And we'll let you guys take us through the market open.
Good morning.
I don't know if you can hear us yet. It looks like he's clicking around to get some
got
sound.
it.
Still setting up.
You got it?
There he is.
I got it.
Good morning.
All right, excellent.
I got it. I don't know why my computer decided to mute itself today. That wasn't even asked, but technology.
Of course. All right, good morning, Thor. Let's get you guys in here, and Brian should be on any second. All right, man, we'll let you to it.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everybody out there. I'm just kind of getting into YouTube, so hopefully everybody over there in YouTube Landia is having a good time. Looking forward to doing some trading with everybody today. Got a lot of interesting stuff going on with, steel and all of that stuff. So I am going to kind of watch some of the futures on some of our durables and see if they're impacted at all. But otherwise, I'm going to keep an eye on the Q and the ES, which I actually think we're kind of in a really nice spot to sell at the open. So we'll kind of see what happens, what kind of volume we get. Coming in with me hot, the Prophet of Profit. What's up, buddy? How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Hey, good morning, sir. Everything was just wonderful. How about yourself?
Really good, really good. I watched.
All right.
We watched some football. Watched a little Super Bowl action. Watched what may have been considered a felony, as far as I'm concerned. As far as just use, I witnessed in person. Sorry, Casey. People love you. But that I mean, it was rough to see. But it was really cool and great stuff. So congrats to all those Eagles fans out there.
I don't either. It was definitely the Steelers day yesterday. They dominated. What was the spread? What was the bookies must have been I don't know if they got.
I should have pulled it. I should have pulled that. I didn't look at it. I should have pulled that. That would have been great.
KC won. KC by 1. Is that it? Wow. 1.5. Saying 1.5 in the room here. Man, they missed that by a bit. I mean, I kind of think it was even a little bit of a I kind of thought it was even a little bit it could have been even worse, but I think Eagles. Yeah, sorry, I said Steelers. I kind of thought the Eagles kind of let up a little bit in that sort of last quarter. Um,
Oh, for sure. I mean, they even brought in their secondary quarterback and had him, getting a little bit of
yeah,
time in so he can be a part of history himself, earn that
yeah,
ring.
exactly. So I think it probably even 20 points on the board, I think was a little generous, but he did. Moan did throw that nice long bomb right at the end there. That was pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, at the end, Kansas City proved exactly why you need 40 points on Kansas City to make sure you win a Super Bowl. Because, if they'd only have been up by 20 points, or only been up by one touchdown, they would have lost that game in the last 2 minutes. But
Yeah,
it was that massive, and that happens all the time with Kansas City. Those guys are miracle makers.
yeah.
They just got enough distance in there to make sure they couldn't do it. So it was cool. So into the
It was good.
tickers here.
All
So
good.
I'm kind of watching. Like I said, the market's in a pretty sweet spot to spell, and I'm kind of to sell. And I'm watching Nvidia right now. Is a ticker I really like. I want to see if this kind of squeezes a little bit up and see if we, what happens to the price action here. But I think it's in a pretty nice range. I also am going to just watch the market in general. I think the market is going to be a really fun vehicle for us to play since we're going to have plenty of volatility in it. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that and see what's happening. So, and then, maybe, keep an eye on Tesla and, some of those other usual suspects. Amazon, I like a lot today. So I noticed you had Amazon on your list, Brian.
Yeah, what are you thinking with Amazon? Because I kind of it's obviously sold off quite a bit. One of the ones that sold off on their earnings. So
So for me on
I'm
Amazon, what
thinking,
I'd personally like to see is I'd like to see it squeeze to around 231. It is a wider range, so I'm not expecting it to really go too far today. I'm hoping it'll come back and kind of offer. I'm actually doing a webinar tomorrow in Bearable Traders, an elite webinar on the R3 to S3 Traverse, which is the play I'm kind of looking to see if sets up on Amazon today. So basically, we'd look
right.
for it to open and look for kind of a lower volume push back up to R3 and find a seller there. The order book does have some big orders down near 228. So if we clear the sellers up to 231, hit R3, might be looking pretty bearish at that point. It'd be a nice short if the market kind of goes with it.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm kind of looking for on Amazon there. It'd be really sweet.
it's kind of interesting as we're getting closer to the open. Nvidia's dropped below the VWAP. Tesla's dropped below the VWAP as well. So the markets are kind of hanging around. I'm really actually quite surprised. The markets are up given the latest news about more tariffs.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And some inflationary
yeah,
stuff again, where they're still talking not like bad, but interest rates, I mean, potentially, needing to,
exactly.
to adjust up and stuff. So all the things that normally makes the market super sketchy. So we'll
Yeah,
we'll see. Does the market even care what the Fed says anymore?
and yeah, it's a good question.
Meme economy. Proceed. All right,
Tesla's
here comes our buyer that's going
drop.
to kind of pop this price for us into the open here on Amazon.
Tesla's got some orders down at 350. We'll see what it does at the open. It's traded really well one day last week, and it traded really crappy on Friday. So
Hey, BBT, check out
we'll
my
see.
new indicator.
Tesla did have some news just as on the market close on. I think we got some news about um, the car sales in China, which were I think disappointing. Um, Chinese automakers are really getting quite aggressive too with their pricing
Mm-hmm.
and incentives. So that's never good for your margins.
No, exactly. I think, with Tesla, I mean,
Wow.
I feel like it's kind of like anyone who has stock in Ford, you know what I mean? Or, what's the price of Ford right now? $9.25. Company that's been around for like 100 years. Worth $9. No,
Yeah.
I'm sure obviously
No,
there's share dilution and all of that stuff in there, but just saying, you know what I mean?
Nvidia's definitely below the VWAP on my chart. I don't know what chart you're looking at, but cool.
Nvidia just found a seller.
It
See, this is exactly what I was
kind
talking
of
about.
topped out. Yeah, it kind of topped out at 131. All right, let's see what we're going to get here. We've got 10 seconds to the open. Keep it green, everybody. See what happens. AMD's popping, Nvidia's dropping. Meta's dropping. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. And here comes the buying. Oh.
Yeah, Tesla's popping up a bit. Nvidia's bounced off the 20 EMA.
All right, that was pretty aggressive there.
Oh, so aggressive buyback. Meta really sold off. Amazon popped and dropped there. Coming back
Didn't
down
really
to
give me a good entry
yes,
opportunity.
yeah.
AMD found a seller too. Right at R3. I mean, I actually like to sell here quite often. I just really need to see good indication of selling. So I'd like to see a retest of this area, especially on Amazon. I'd like to see it come back up and give us an offer here.
Got short some Tesla. See what it does here.
Shoot, that's not going to do that at all.
Ooh, Nvidia's ripping.
There it goes.
You got a fairly big position on Tesla with options, so I'm selling some here
Nice. Good, good, good.
in at 7 to selling some at 780.
That was a nice drop you got there.
And now I'm worried about them coming back, so I'm going to get out of the rest. Wow, Nvidia really popped. What was that? That was a weird sell-off at the open. I dragged it down. Oh yeah, and you see here's Tesla coming back up now.
There it goes. I got short a little bit on NQ when it squeezed back up, so I'm holding a short position right now on NQ. If it's hitting a buyer here, if it squeezes up, I'll get out of it. But right now it looks pretty good. You can see that entry here. So we have a gap here that it came back up and wicked into, and then when it sold off of it, I went ahead and hit with a bracket order. If it goes back up, I'll stop on it. Otherwise, I'm going to target down here towards this low. See what happens. So far, our volume's been more to the sell side.
Tesla rejected after that pop. So, I mean, damn. So I'm getting, maybe getting longs or some puts. That would be short SPX. In at 450 here. For, see if we can get to 5.
We have a buyer that keeps supporting right here on. So like if you're talking about like QQQs, relevant, you'd be talking about like 526.75. That's the level to watch right now. If that level gets cracked to the downside, we will most likely start to sell, and then we'll look to see if we buy on the reoffer. If not, we'll likely start transitioning lower. So if we're going to find a buyer, it needs to be pretty much like right here. So as you can see what I mean, see, look how we found a buyer.
Yeah.
It just
I'm
had
out
to
of,
be where it had to
I'm
be
out of
there.
these. Yeah, I'm out of these 5 puts. They're not, I'm a little bit worried we're not going to drop.
Yeah, they're
Looks
coming
like
up to
there's a buyer,
reoffer. They're
but
under
yeah,
the 50 SMA right now. They're coming up to reoffer to this. They
yeah.
have a premium seller up at like 527.50, and then we're kind of ping ponging between the two of them right now. Tesla's selling more. You still got those puts loaded?
No, they were on that pop. On that kind of bottom, I kind of figured they were gonna. Yeah, Tesla is not traded. Has not been a great trading stock, but it is looking like there is a huge order at 350. And back short SPX again.
Boom. All right, so we hunted our buyer and we seem to have found him. We're now trying to hunt our seller.
Man,
See,
NVIDIA is
they're
just
offering
on
premium
fire
right now. The order book's still really bullish on NVIDIA. Where my sellers at?
All right, just gonna sell some of these SPX puts. See if we can get to $6 now.
Nice, Mike. Did you get long on it?
There we go. $6 closing some. Yeah, Tesla's going to 350. Should get back short Tesla. You get a pop here. Yeah, that was unfortunate. That stopped me out.
Look how strong the order book on NVIDIA is right now.
Yeah,
it gets
crazy.
its first like void a little bit after 134. So it really seems like this thing's hunting 134 right now. I still haven't gotten a setup that I'm like really excited about. Amazon just got back to R3 finally on that pullback I wanted into the right area. So now I'm just really kind of looking for a good seller to hit. So I feel like the market's super strong. It kind of feels sketchy to sell here, but
Okay, I'm got short a little bit of Tesla just on this pop. See if we can go back, see if we can go and eat some of those orders. It's at 350 now.
interesting.
Come on, Tesla. Give me that big flush.
We keep finding a seller at this higher level here on NQ 21,780. We have a pretty big seller. Might be an iceberg because anytime we go into that range, it just gets kicked out, like door slammed. So, but still need more selling volume.
Here we go. Just I'm going to cover some. I'm trading options again with Tesla. So just the 350s, 350 puts expiring on Valentine's Day. Let's sell some 835. This is an S3 level, so that's why we're kind of hesitating here.
NVIDIA
S3
finally found a
is
seller.
Camarilla pivot. Yeah, 350, 90.
NVIDIA finally found its seller. Order book's actually bringing in a few downside orders as well. So, not saying it's a reversal at this point, but this is kind of what we're looking for.
Yeah, SPX still short a little bit.
NVIDIA also almost ran its full ATR already. NVIDIA's ATR high would be like 135.15 would be the highest we'd really expect it to go today, unless it just did something really, really wild, which it can do. So I look at the average trading range, not the average daily range, Michael, in YouTube, because I want to consider the session low and the session high, because when you're actually calculating, you really like don't look at how, like if you're looking at a daily chart, you're not looking at how far that stock moved only during the open session. You're looking at its session low and its session high, which means you're including pre-market low and after hours high. You know what I mean? So it's more consistent, I feel. And this is an opinion, obviously, because both of them have validity. It's just the one I prefer. But I like the way it calculates. It makes more sense to me. Bam. Yeah, of course.
Okay, NVIDIA is going to give me a little bit of a bigger bounce here.
All right, NVIDIA just re-offered to the premium side, and the buying
Or
actually
not
dropped a little
NVIDIA,
bit.
Tesla. Just added back on that bounce. So we'll see here if again there's this huge order, 351, 350. We might bounce to the VWAP here. This is the 20 EMA on the 2-minute chart right now. Oops, did I lose a connection here?
Nope, I don't think so. Hope not.
Okay. All right. Said that's what that's weird. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of like I'm kind of waiting and watching, and kind of seeing. I kind of like where I'm watching Nvidia right now because it's it's not quite thrown. Like I'm still looking for a good opportunity. Let's just say that. Every time I'm looking, I'm just not sure. But Nvidia kind of is giving me it's got a lot here for what I like for potentially for a reversal, but the market looks too strong. But I like the way this one's looking.
Okay.
I also
It
like where
seems to
we're at
be
on the daily chart right now.
trading terminal is there's some problem there. Yeah, NQ is breaking out here. The Qs looks like they're going to push higher.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because the ES actually started selling already, and kind of while the Qs are still holding up. So we've got some divergence in the sectors right now as well, which is very interesting.
Hmm. Interesting. Meta's looking like it's going to break down here. Okay, well, let's see what Tesla does here. Um, did a rejection at the 20. See if it comes back down into this. Okay, I'm getting out of this SPX last option. That was an okay trade. Just the last option wasn't very profitable, but that's why I take partials. Okay, here we go. Come on, Tesla. This is your time to really lose it here.
This is your time to shine.
Time to shine. It's going to cover some that I added back just in case we get a bounce here. There seems to be a buyer somewhere around here, 352.
Oh wow, the Dow sold like crazy. I should have been watching Dow. Dow really sold down. Wow. Man. All right.
Yeah, what happened with the Dow? Holy crap! Look at Nvidia. Jeez, is just breaking to a new high here. That's cool. That's good. Hopefully, some people are taking advantage of that. That pullback was a nice pullback to get long. Trade.
I got a short going in Amazon that I got into a few minutes ago after it went to R3. So it's going to be a while on this one because it's a wide position over high of day, and it's hoping the market sells and gives me a nice opportunity.
What's interesting in Meta is now just about going to go red here. It's right on. It's right at PDC.
I'll be right back. I'm going to grab something real quick.
All right, here we go. Tesla. That's what we want to see. You just start eating into those big orders there. Num 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 num. That's it. Beauty. So a little
Okay.
more at $8.50. I'm using the 350 puts. So shorting using options.
The order book again was a really nice read on that one. It looked really nice and bearish, so that's really solid.
Yeah, Meta went red on the day. Interesting. Very interesting.
Very.
Your Nasdaq's
Here
going to
goes our
start rolling
queue.
over here, maybe.
There goes NQ. We're starting to sell a little bit on the Qs. Keep holding those puts, buddy. This thing's probably going to keep on going. If the Q starts selling right now, it's only going to help you.
Yeah. Wow, Meta's gone red now. Didn't get all those orders on Tesla. Always seems to be someone seems to want to step in and buy. I don't have a lot of options left now with Tesla either, so this R3 level is definitely an area where it wants to see support, sort of 351. Tesla does
Yeah.
have a habit of breaking and making a new low and then snapping back.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like
in a
to
good spot for
trigger
you
those
here.
stops.
I would think Tesla today, I could easily see Tesla getting down to, let's say, 344.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like 344-ish, somewhere right around there. It's kind of, I mean, we actually have really nice bid ladder actually all the way down to 345, and then we kind of run out. So at least right now, it doesn't look like it'll go much lower than that. And ATR low is at 340. So if it rallied from here, yeah, it wouldn't really make sense for a rally. I think you're good, man. I think you're still gold on this one.
So, okay. Yeah, see. Like I said, I
The
don't
volume on
have
this pullback too is pretty weak. Good job on that NVIDIA long for everybody.
Qs are selling off a little bit here. You know what? I'm going to get out of the rest of Tesla. I don't like that bounce back this time.
Well, you play
When,
so close to momentum, you can always get back in if it starts to look weak again.
yeah, I think I don't like I've seen Tesla do this too many times, break down,
Mm-hmm.
Look like it's going to break down, and then all of a sudden somebody decides to come in and start buying it. So push it back up. And it has sort of double bottomed. So it's not necessarily a good sign for a short.
Mm-mm-mm. All right, we're offering to the sell side right now in the market. So we're pulling the price back up, and we're wiggling our little jig here for the sellers to see if the sellers sell. So right now, what we're watching the book for, especially, is if the seller starts selling. That's going to be a big deal. So, like for instance, right now, if you're watching Qs or NQ or something like that, as we pull back here and we reoffer, do we see sellers start coming in? If sellers start coming in here, we'll likely drive back down. You can see there's a very large order at 21,750. So there's our sellers. See, as we reoffered, we get our sellers to come in right there. It's right where we expected them. Yeah, I'm still in. I ran a really wide ATM. It got really close to my stop. So, and I'm running it down towards S3, so I got plenty of space. I actually should kill this position just so I can get better RVR on it. If it, I could run my stop tighter right now and get better RVR. And I'm still holding a short on Amazon that I took around 940, which that is not doing very well. So we'll see what happens. So far, the morning for me in my particular trading style has been quite lackluster, but I had an incredibly good Friday, so I'm not sweating it.
Yeah, there you go. See, Jared's playing Tesla to the long side.
Yeah, today's bland in the news today too.
So, so there you go. Kind of figured it. That's kind of the way I read that too. It was looking like it was kind of changing direction. Okay. We'll see how she goes here. See what
There's
she
our
does at
sellers.
this level.
And
That's
buyer.
not really tradable for me anymore.
Yeah, the market's super choppy right now. We're just ping-ponging between buyers and sellers. It's very boring. But we haven't really had, I don't really feel like I've seen an initiative participant or anybody really step in and pick a direction for us in the market, really hammer something. So I still feel like I'm kind of just waiting for something. So I will continue to wait. Keep rocking this short here and we'll just keep hanging out.
See what happens here with the SPY. And we're just right under the VWAP that we might be going to be pushing up here. So it looks like buyers are stepping in on the SPY. But a little bit of a rejection there. Let's see where it goes. Right at VWAP on the SPY. Qs are pushing back up here again, back to high of day.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, nice. BW. Was just reading it on the. How's our YouTube people doing? I'm gonna pop over here and say hi. Sorry, I'm being a little boring right now. I'm just kind of waiting for the market to do something I like. This is definitely one of those moments where having Andrew around is super helpful because that guy he can trade anything. So it's like it doesn't matter what the day is. He's always going to bring you some action. On a day like today, I am a boring compadre.
Oh no, we've had some good trades here. We've had Tesla short and the SPX short there, and now we'll just look for something else. Like it's when we get into this part of the day, kind of especially with no news, you're going to get a sort of a settling out here. Ooh, Meta's starting to push back after sort of running Friday's range, it actually broke below PDC and tested and bounced off of Friday's low of day. So found support there. Should have been watching that a little more closely.
Still, as we push up, we're finding we're declining in volume. So as we start to offer, and I'm talking about the NQ, for instance, we have been declining in volume as we're offering premium to our buyers, but they are still buying. So it's really like I'm just waiting for that more convincing signal, like a really big seller, before I would think it's a reversal. So for now, I'm just gonna kind of continue to, like I said, I'm kind of just sitting on my hands, hoping that I see what I'm looking for here. Mm-hmm. What's 2K in lower range also?
I think maybe getting long here on the SPX.
I went ahead
There you
and
go. I missed that little
I'm out
pop
of
there.
Amazon. So I took a loss on Amazon.
Yeah, long SPX here. Kind of missed that pop, unfortunately. But it looks like here we come. Meta's come right back up. Yeah, we're getting a move back up on a lot of these stocks here.
That buy on NQ had good volume. That was a pretty solid buy. Let's see the response here. See if we get a seller that hits. If not, we maybe just be moving higher.
Nvidia's just hanging out around 134, just above the 9 EMA. If it does pull back, maybe we get it to 133. Could be a long.
It's a really.
So the book is. Yeah, what happened there? The SPY, the book really emptied out there for a minute. I'm not sure what that was all about.
It is 10. I mean, not that there's news, but there's often a market structure rebalancing happens around 10 o'clock.
Right. Well, the other thing too is I don't know if it's today, but I know during the week there's a fair amount of um, Fed heads talking. They're doing their usual speaker circuit, going out and chattering. So, some of the stuff they can say can move the market. But again, I don't know. Usually usually the one that has obviously the most influence is going to be Powell, and he's testifying in front of Congress on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that'll be something to be aware of. He usually picks his picks his words fairly carefully, so
All right. We had a big movement up into the Qs and we went up into 528 there. The volume for such a large engulfing candle was actually quite low. But still no major sign. One of the things I like thinking about when I'm trading, so no, I already answered that, Jaco. I didn't trade QQQ. So I wasn't even in that one. I took a short on Amazon and I had a short on NQ, a future. But in that instance, yes on Amazon, no on NQ. I ran a really wide bracket on that one. But probably gonna be from the looks of it, not great. But it's a wide day, so I wasn't really expecting a breakout today. But looks like, that's gonna be what it's gonna be. So, but yeah, so what I'm looking for now, generically, is because if what's important for me is if we're buying, and right now my assumption is we are buying, I'm still looking for a seller, right? So that's kind of why I'm not really getting into much else now, because mostly everything's too extended for me to feel comfortable going long at this point, and I have no evidence that we are selling yet. So I'm just kind of hanging,
yeah, I'm just
waiting till we find a good seller, and then I'll try and do something.
I'm just selling some of those SPX calls that I bought here. Look at this, right at pre-market high. So kind of chased it on that pop, but nice, good trade there. $13 to 15.50 move on the 60/50s.
Mm.
Again, you don't have to trade options on these things. If you just wanted to trade the SPY long, go with me on the SPY long. You could have done SP. Is it SPA? SPYL? Qs are breaking out here too. So what did I see for momentum? Basically, if you look at Bookmap, or you could look at your charts too, but yeah, basically you could just see us here banging against the VWAP, and then we got this big push right through there. It tested VWAP for, just kept testing it and testing it. And I knew, I was fairly confident that eventually it would break through it. And then we got a nice move up, and there's some huge volume there, right back up to the pre-market high. And the pre-market high, coincidentally, is R6 on the Camarilla pivots.
That was a good job on Tesla from both of you. Brian caught it on the way down. Jared caught it on the way up.
Yeah,
very nice.
Jared got her on the way up. Back to 357, right into sort of this pre-market range here. And we're going to continue to go through this pre-market high, maybe on SPY.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're breaking session high now. The range is wide, so normally we don't break out on days like this. But we're just, if you look at like yesterday, or what would be Friday, We actually had quite a bit of distance on Friday. I mean, Friday's high is all the way up at 608. So, but normally this is about about where we would expect to see some sellers coming in. So that's what I'm kind of, like I said, now I'm still kind of hunting. I'm still hunting a seller, and this is where they probably should be. Ooh, order book just changed a little bit. I'm also looking for a market shift of some sort, more bearish orders coming in.
Right. Hmm.
We sold yesterday from a little higher than here. Actually, it's a good spot.
All right. So how's everyone doing on out there in YouTube land? Nvidia's still looking good here. If you've been able to trade with us this morning, I know if there's a bit of a delay here, but if you hopefully caught some trades here this morning. There were definitely some good moves. Nvidia definitely. Tesla, nice little sell off on the SPY, and then a nice bounce on the SPY. Q is pushing to looking like they're going to break out again here. Always like to get a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up there.
There was a seller hitting
Even
a
if you're just
SPY.
watching right now. Nothing wrong with watching, figuring out maybe doing some paper trading.
Yeah, Robert, I'll help you out, man, with that.
What else do we got? Joseph got what do you got? A nice, we're just going through some of the trades in the room here. Joseph got a nice move on Nvidia. Awesome. Jared's blowing himself up. He's saying boom.
Yeah, Tesla's just ripping right now. It just went through its initial balance range, so it's just ripping.
And this is the way Tesla trades. Although this wasn't a good setup for a nice double bottom here. This is a really when you see a stock sort of break a low, like there was a low put in around 940 on Tesla, call it 938. And then it came back and it made a low again at 948. But that low was lower than the prior low at 938. But then it snapped right back up. As soon as it made that low, it snapped right back up. In retrospect, I guess I should have. This is a really good setup for a long. I find that when a stock breaks, like does a false breakdown and then snaps back up, that just tells me that some market maker just scooped up a bunch of stops,
swept a bunch of downside liquidity.
Yeah, exactly. They just scooped up a bunch of people that had stops there, and then they just ran it back up from there. This is a really really nice setup. Like as far as a double bottom goes, if you get that second low, which just goes a little bit lower and then snaps back, really good setup for a long kind of. I've got real Romo. I call it Romo. Regret of missing out.
Absolutely.
That was, but at least my buddy Jared got that trade in, so I'll be happy for him.
I'm watching the response on SPY here. We did find a seller, although not the world's largest seller. I want to see what happens as we're reoffering to the sell side here. If we get a buyer that starts buying again, or if we have a seller that sells here. So what I'm constantly looking for because I actually play a lot more reversals than continuation patterns. So for those of you who like reversals, one of the things I really like to look for, and what I'm looking for is, first I'm looking to find a seller, and then I'm actually watching to see how the buyers react to that seller as we push back up in the price. Do I see buying still continuing in volume, or do I see that move up gently and then it get met by more selling? That kind of isolates it as a value offering, which makes me think the market makers are trying to raise the price to entice more selling. The seller's obliged. That's normally what I'm looking for a short, kind of like on what's happening on SPY right now. So I'm kind of I'm getting a little bit more and more interested in SPY up here every second as it continues to hang out here. Now there is a chance if we don't start selling here pretty soon. I mean, market stats put out basically if we don't get our reversal started kind of around like 10:30ish or so, like normally like most double tops, especially like if you're looking for a mountain pass, for instance, you like Peter teaches, you wouldn't want to make a new high. And this is one of the reasons why the mountain pass doesn't want a new high for its second pass. Right. And the reason is because if it does, generically by making that new high, it'll be after 10:30. And most tickers, especially tech tickers that make a new high after 10:30, don't reverse actually. They just end up closing as engulfings. So you end up spending the whole day sitting there trying to time a reversal. That's just never going to happen. So if that actually happens, it's probably better to start flipping into some kind of like a high of day break strategy. See if you can buy the retest and play out. Inversion CYD, I've already lost one trade on Amazon, which I said I was in, and I already said I'm out of because I lost a trade on it. So although I appreciate your opinion, it is certainly not accurate. I'm just not in anything worth, and I don't call trades though. I certainly don't. So if you're looking for copy trading, wrong channel.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation that if you don't get a sell-off, but in the first half hour or so, it's you probably just if you're trying to short it, you're probably fighting an all-day trend. Now that doesn't, nothing's 100%. I mean, you could have, for example, you could have some news come out at 1 in the afternoon that could completely blow that up. But yeah, Amazon looks like kind of looks like it's trying to break out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that one wrong. I like SPY here for a short. I'm not saying it is one. I'm just saying I like it. It just hasn't. I just want more selling, and I haven't seen a lot of selling. So anyway, hanging.
Yeah, I'm
going to
looking.
switch
There we
my.
go. Amazon's breaking out here.
I'm going to switch my handle to boring trader for the day.
It's okay, Thor. You know what? It's the one thing that it's showing is that you're just being patient, waiting for your trade. If you're just randomly jumping in and taking trades because you're bored, that's a good way to lose money. So looking at Amazon, this is a break a high a day. This is a kind of trade that John likes to do.
Hmm. No, the thing I keep reminding myself of is, it's not just about being patient. Like I had an incredibly nice Friday. Like basically made almost 2 weeks worth of P&L just on Friday alone. So in the patience pays, you know what I mean? Because the thing I don't want to do right now is litter my P&L with 20 trades or something like that, be down more R than I can possibly recover from, then actually get the market to work and start and then have to crawl my way out of a hole. I'd rather just kind of sit back, recognizing I've got capital to preserve from Friday, and I don't want to just water it away.
Yeah.
The NQ trade I'm out of.
Hey, you want to see how Jared and I are feeling right now with our Tesla trades?
Might get into it again.
Here we go.
That's a really nice Tesla trade. Ballers.
One short, one long. Come on, Jared. I'll give you a picture if you want. You could probably make something off of AI.
Oh, for sure. That's how we invented the Stegosaurus pattern, just using AI.
AI Brian, yeah. Carlos, you could probably use that picture for the newsletter. Or if we have a newsletter today. Tesla, one long, one short, two happy traders.
All right, I'm short SPY, and I just hit some short on NQ again because I got stopped out. I think I found my
Short
seller.
SPY, that's interesting.
Entry on NQ for YouTube 21,841. Stop as if it squeezes back through the high current session high. If it goes back through 21,855, I'll take it. I actually used a hotkey for the entry, so it's actually only risking about $50 or $60 to get in. So if it goes out, I'll just let it go, and I'll be done on this one for a little bit. See if I get a better signal. But that was a nice. We tried to push. We found premium, and then we sold. Order book actually still a little bit bullish for me. So you know what? Here it goes. Dang it. All right, I'll get out of that one. Can't quite time a good one.
No, this is just fighting a trend here.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a little bit surprised here, but market reaction.
It's a good thing about these sweet hotkeys, though.
Yeah, because
Really barely lost any money on it.
You're trading the minis, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can come
so
in pretty heavy,
they're-
and I can get like 10 contracts and only risk like 50 or 60 bucks if I hit the right level. But I'm going to go for like 8 or 900 when I go for it. So my RVR imbalance is pretty spectacular.
Yeah,
It was
'cause
like on Friday, I
your
made
risk,
like almost $4,000 on Friday.
yeah, because your risk to reward is pretty decent. Sure, it's gonna. Amazon.
Coming back to the offer. So the cool thing is when we pulled back on SPY there, that pullback was on really low volume. So we're reoffering. So I'm actually still kind of feeling all right about that one, but we'll see what happens. Today might just be a Might be a lackluster day today. I don't often have red days when I sign off of the YouTube. Hopefully, I'll figure something out before the day's out. But you guys, it's kind of fun to you got to see all the good traders all have to win and lose. So the thing I really want to demonstrate for y'all is just risk management. So far, I'm having what I would consider a losing day, and I'm only down a couple $100. You know what I mean? So it's really not that big of a deal, especially considering what I made on Friday.
Yeah, you had a great day on Friday. Look at the Qs. Qs broke out.
Jam, that stinks. I was kind of going the opposite direction on you, I guess, when I was short at R4 for across the range when the news came out. But I don't run that many contracts.
Yeah,
I
that was
trade micros and I
amazing.
trade a max of 10 contracts. So even if I take hard slippage, I wouldn't lose more than like a few $100 probably. Mm-mm-mm. I got this fun new indicator that I'm kind of goofing around with, which is keeping my my ADHD at bay right now, which is a fair it isolates fair value gaps on the chart for Ninja, which is pretty fun. So that's the other thing I haven't really
Yeah, it was
had yet. Was I'd like to see a good FVG, an IFVG actually form to the downside, showing a good reversal was happening. I haven't really gotten one of those yet either. So it really hasn't been a good reversal indicator on the market for me yet. So it kind of makes sense why I'm trading against the flow
so
right
this,
now.
yeah.
We're trying to.
So you're Ninja, but I thought you were working on that for your what's the Schwab one, TD one?
Oh, toss, yeah, yeah, we got it. So we are coding
Yeah,
it into toss. Taking a little the one I found in Ninja was one that someone already did. So I just
right.
incorporated it. So that one was easy. The toss ones were actually doing custom scripting on, which is a pain in the butt. All right. So Tesla actually
So
got
Tesla is at PDC right now. This is a previous day close. This is always a pretty significant level. So it's going to be interesting to see if it can actually break above here. Meta has put in a double bottom. It's kind of interesting how Meta's red on the day. Microsoft's had a pretty good day. Some of these stocks already took a beating on their earnings are starting to come back. These were a couple of stocks that I had looked at in my swing trade video on the weekend, looking at some bottoming action for Google uh, and Amazon. Opportunity to sell some puts below where we bottomed as a possibility, or just go long. You could go long just the stock, or you could go long the calls. Go long some calls like Amazon. You could go long some 235, sell some 240s, which is sort of near high of day, high of a couple weeks ago, I should say. And the Qs just keep pushing and breaking out here.
keep
Yeah,
on
there's
trudging.
this NVIDIA is just continuing to follow the 9 EMA up.
Wild.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
yeah.
I'm kind of hoping Tesla gets a little higher for me.
Hmm.
I actually have a play if
Oh,
this gets a little bit higher. I want to see them buy through PDC here and exhaust. Definitely struggling at PDC on Tesla here. Still hunting a seller. Still just looking for a nice seller here. I would love to see Tesla if it pushed up to around like 365 and found like a really big seller there. I'd be okay with taking a look at it, because the thing you got to think, like, we're getting it's at this wick here from, if you're from the BBT folks, if you're looking from it's a few days ago. You can see kind of how the low of this wick is at 363. So that was kind of where we found discount and then bought. And then we came down and sold through it, but just ever so slightly, and then closed. So today we're gap down. Now we're filling that gap back to PDC. So if we sell right off of the low and close near that wick, I mean, it kind of makes sense. This is where we would be looking for a seller, right here off the low of that previous day after we closed. So, but keep an eye on your tape and on your book. It's not just good enough to be in the right spot. You actually want to see a seller like really come in and start selling. Right now, our order book's still a little bullish, and our sellers, you can see most of our large dots are green, moving the price up, selling, not really dropping the price too much. Well, it is 10:30, ladies and gents.
right.
So I am actually going to call it a morning. Maybe we can get some trade support in here. Maybe we got someone come in here and maybe show you guys something exciting. I'm a demonstration of calm and risk management, but very boring. So maybe we have something a little less boring. But for now, I will bid you all adieu. Don't forget, likes for Brian. Very, very important out there, YouTube. Don't
Sure.
forget, Brian made money today and made you some really good calls. So you got to remember that it is very, very important that you give likes for Brian. That's right. Don't forget,
Yeah,
likes
there you
for...
go. That's so Thor, this is one of the very few occasions where we still make money. So
Yeah. So give me time. I still got a couple hours of trading left to do. I think
oh yeah.
Tesla's going to give me a
Yeah.
shot here in a minute. So just wait and see. But
Yeah,
just
it does look like it's interesting. Tesla does look like it's rejecting PDC here. And there isn't a whole lot of liquidity above there. So yeah, maybe a possibility, but right now we're below the 9 and maybe heading to the 20 where it could bounce. And that could
absolutely,
be
and
the
always good to
opportunity
show
to short
everybody
them.
that you can take a couple of losses with composure and not let it shake your whole time. Just remember
Yeah, yeah,
that
for
trading, this is
sure.
an occupation. So getting too hung up on any one given day, especially because what I can tell by today is a day that doesn't really fit my particular strategy as I'm gleaning through. So it's not like I've missed a lot of opportunities that I should have otherwise hit. It wasn't really a performance issue. There just wasn't a lot of opportunities that I really liked. So for now, I'll hang out. But otherwise, everyone out there, talk to you soon. Profit a profit. Way to get that money, brother. I'll
Have a
talk to
good
you
day.
later. You're
All
buying
right.
lunch, so and
Sure.
keep it
Lobster and yeah, and crab,
All right, I'm on my way.
Krabby Patties.
I'll be there in like a month. When is it? Like a 1 month or 2 months or something like that.
Yeah,
All right, talk to you soon.
yeah. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Thor will be joining us in Vancouver. He'll be doing a presentation as well. And yeah, it's going to be a great event. We had a great event last year. People that joined us last year. I think everybody had a really good time. Took away a lot of good information.
Awesome. Thank you, Thor. Thor was brilliant. Patience. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing well. Doing well, thanks.
Excellent.
Like you had a
Yeah, I
good
had a
time
pretty good
today.
morning.
Or
Had a couple of mostly trading options, but the options trades you could have you could have done it with stock as well. So
Mhm. Nice, nice,
yeah,
nice. Yeah, guys. So yeah, Thor was talking about someone showing you some excitement. Well, I think I'm probably even more boring than Thor because I haven't taken a trade yet today, even though there's been a tremendous amount of movement, at least to my eyes, but no setups for the way I like them. So still waiting. And so that's money not lost, right? Money not made is also money not
that's
lost.
money
Or
not lost.
yeah.
If there's the one thing that's more important about than making money, and that's not losing money.
Yep.
Uh, keeping your capital, because if you don't see a good trade, if you don't see a trade setup that you like, best to just keep your capital in your bank account and live to trade another day.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Because
Brian, wish you told me
yeah,
that 6 years ago. I really wish you did.
because there's yeah, I mean, this is the hardest thing to do as a trader. Is one of the hardest things to do as a trader is actually not trade. Um, you get impatient. I mean, this is like going to work and not working. I mean, for some people that's okay, but just going to work and sitting at your desk, and so yeah, it definitely tests your patience and your discipline for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Got to be at the peak of your game
Wow.
and live to fight another
Yeah.
day. As nice.
So
So,
you've been watching just primarily the Mag 7 and AMD, of course.
yep, just these eight. And there was fantastic movement, especially with Amazon, as in ORB's momentum at the open, all that kind of stuff. But that's not in my trade book anymore. But trading with my mentees this morning, a lot of them caught that stuff, even the Tesla move, Nvidia, all that
Okay.
good stuff, really good stuff. But again, not for me. I've just kind of stopped doing that. It's frustrating on a day like today when I wish I had my old trade book still active, but
No,
I
I know.
don't activate that. So,
But
but
that's
that's
okay. I mean, the trade book you have is certainly working for you.
yeah,
So
exactly. You don't want to go chopping and changing just based on one day's price action. That's really
no,
important too. So, so a whole lot of sit and wait for now. And so, hey guys in YouTube, what are you all into? Guys looking at PLTR, still in, too early, too out. Oh yeah, look at that. This is the setup I was talking about with my mentees earlier as well. PLTR, where it gapped up and sold off at the open, even put in a double bottom. And then as it breaks the opening price, that's the fallen angel setup. The whole thing is a gap up, then a sell-off up front, then breaking through the opening price. That's a fallen angel, very powerful kind of breakout trade. We're pointing that out earlier on Google and Amazon as well. Same thing. So there's a good one. You really want to see a good sell-off, though.
mm,
I used to trade low floats using this strategy. It was the only strategy I used on low floats. But you get two or three trades a week, and and it was low floats. It was not good for my heart rate, heart health,
no.
cardio health.
Yeah, they are. I love Thor's comment is about with sticking with trades. You got to feel uncomfortable. Um, it's part of the to stick with your trade. It's all sort of part of the maximizing your profits, and when you have a loss, minimizing your losses. But maximizing your profits, and you kind of have to feel uncomfortable, because if you get into a stock and it's going up, there's a tendency, or you feel uncomfortable and you just want to get out of the trade. So you can just lock in that little profit, and that's how you sort of minimize your gains.
Yeah.
And of course, it works the other way. When you're losing, you don't want to, if you get into a losing trade, you don't want to get out of it because you just don't want to. If you click that sell button or whatever to get out of the trade, you're going to take a loss, and you just don't want to feel the finality of that loss. So that's where the you know trading mind game sets in here.
Mhm. Yeah, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, we all want to put that
Yeah,
profit in our pockets quickly, but that's not where the big money's made.
yeah,
Got to sit with it
exactly.
uncomfortably. A lot of unrealized. Yeah, lots of unrealized, but then also cut those
That's it.
losers quickly, sharply, and it's really upside down for
Yeah.
our nature as human. Unfortunate it is that way, but once you figure that out, you work around that, and you develop a trading style or even let's say a trade management style that can take care of that to keep your losers small, your winners big, and that discomfort is a core part of this. Actually, I did a webinar on this last week or 2 weeks ago in Trading Terminal, guys. It was all about trade management. How do you manage your trades to really tighten those losses and expand those winners? So that was a fun one. We went right through all this stuff. And another one this Thursday, guys, coming up at 12:30 Eastern in Trading Terminal. I'll be doing another webinar. So make sure you come join for that. We'll be talking this stuff as well and a few other things as well. So put that in your calendars. Trading Terminal is free. All you need is an email to join the webinar. So 12:30 Eastern, don't forget, on Thursday.
Perfect.
We're getting good bounces here. We got Tesla. We're getting Amazon. Oh man, Amazon. Ah, how far does this thing want to go?
Yeah, Amazon's.
Let's see. A level there.
So I have sold some puts on Amazon. So that essentially is making me long.
Yeah, nice.
So so this is more of a swing trade. This was something I talked about in my swing trade video on the weekend. If you haven't checked that out, you can just it's all public, so you can just go to YouTube and search my name and like and subscribe if you want to get that. I usually put out a weekend video. Usually comes out Saturday. Sometimes I'm a little bit slow if I got stuff going on. Might get it out Sunday, but always try to get something out on the weekend. Kind of go over some swing trades I'm looking at.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool. So you've
these are
got Amazon.
definitely
You've put
yeah.
Amazon
Go ahead,
on
sorry.
today for the week. Is that right? You sold those puts for this week?
Yeah, I might. Yeah, we'll see how things go today, but certainly we're definitely we seem to be. This seems to be a trending day. So we had
Yeah.
a bit of a pullback at the open, and now we're just breaking out here on. We just keep grinding higher. Nvidia just keeps the 9 EMA is continually sloping up. Same with the 20 and the VWAP. And yeah, 232, 532 on the NQ is the QQQs are Friday's high. So
All
just
right.
got to keep playing that trend.
Nice. Yeah, good way to play it. Selling puts. As long as it
You
generally
don't
keeps
collect,
going.
yeah, you don't take in as much premiums if you can sell puts and then use the money to buy calls. There's all sorts of ways to do this. Selling puts can be a little more risky. You might want to, I'll consider buying some lower strike puts as we continue to go higher here.
Yeah.
It
Nice.
looks like we might be getting a little toppy.
hmm Yeah. I've got a level there, 233.80 on Amazon. So far, it's finding some sellers there. Same on
Yeah.
Tesla, but 62 is a level as well. Same idea. We got some questions here in YouTube. Robert De Leon, you want to explain why I got rid of ORB trades? Because they're too small. At least the way I would do them. I would trade the open and get a lot of early entries, which means trading momentum and volatility and all that. which means taking a lot of partials, which means I'd end up with a lot of 2R trades, which is just not good enough. Not for what I have in mind, not for my appetite. So I found a different way of doing things where I can put on a trade later in the day and leave it alone for hours without taking partials, just let it run to a target, or it just stops out quick. Either it stops out within the first 5 minutes or it sits there for 2 or 3 hours and goes. I find that to be more profitable, less stressful, easier to manage risk, easier for me. I have more confidence putting bigger size, putting more at risk on those kinds of trades than going in at the open where you have to really watch that volatility and not go too big. So again, just based on my personality and my appetite. Again, all that's going to be in the webinar on this Thursday. We're going to talk about how to discover your trading style because everyone's personality is different, everyone's circumstances are different. But
Yeah.
how do I really identify that, and how do you identify that and really create a trade book for yourself around that, around your personality traits and your temperament and your appetite and your circumstances? There's a lot in there. How do you translate that to candlesticks? So we'll be going through that this Thursday. A good question. I'm going through a lot of that stuff. So, yep. Cool. Hope that answers that. We got a question about Apple. Yeah. Real quick, Ma3, what is this strategy called? This one that I'm using? It's called trading naked or naked trading. Depends what you perceive. But it's basically, yeah. It's basically because there's nothing on my charts. If you look at the screen here, there's nothing on my chart but candlesticks and horizontal lines. So no indicators. That means trading naked. But again, we were talking about leather pants the other day with Carlos on Friday. So that's another piece
There
of
you
it.
go. The
Um,
leather pants trade.
there you go. After a while, you really get
Yeah.
overheated in leather. Also, you gotta release yourself.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Especially in
Uh,
when you're in Dubai, right?
mm. Yeah, you gotta crank up the air conditioning here to be comfortable in leather pants, which is just
Yeah.
unreasonable. Oh man. Got a question there on Apple. Yeah, you see Apple levels and it's just been bouncing ping pong between these levels. Doesn't want to go anywhere. If you can trade this range, sure, long, short, not what I do. But again, I used to. You can find a range, you can find a false breakout. Every time there's a false breakout, you have a good chance for it to run to the other end of the range. So that's a strategy to use. Apple would have been okay if you're trading that today, but I think that's just too stressful. There's no point. I just think there's easier ways to make money in the market than messing around with this stuff. Ivan, yes, the webinar is free. It's in tradingterminal.com. And yeah, it's free. You don't need a BBT membership to come participate and have some fun with us.
Yeah. It's on Trading Terminal, which is free right now. Lots of good information there,
Mhm.
from calendar to heat maps to news.
Yep. Fantastic stuff. Hey, Andrea, you're here too. Andrea is one of my mentees. We were trading live together this morning, following me all
Nice.
over the internet, huh? On YouTube now.
It's
Oh
like
man.
Tesla's kind of losing it a bit here.
Yeah. Look at that level was so good. What is that? 362.30.
That was PDC. That was PDC that tested there twice.
There you go. Yeah, just about there. Look at that. It's amazing. You're looking at PDC, I'm looking at measured moves and basically land in the same place.
Oh,
Amazing how that
exactly.
works.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, I'll look at something and I'll go, well, look on Bookmap and I'll think, well, it seems to be, it's holding here, it's bouncing here. I wonder why. Then I'll look over to my charts where it's got all these different levels, like the pivot levels and the previous day high, low, and close. And
Mhm.
sure enough, there's a level right there where it bounced off of, like this morning where it bounced off of S3 on that pivot level. And right now, like I said, you can't see it on Bookmap because I don't have the levels on there, or I can't put levels on there. But I look over on my charts and I can see exactly why we're kind of chopping along here. We're sitting right at Friday's close. We're kind of chopping along there. So what's going on? Q's still strong. SPY has broken out. There we go.
Mhm. There we go. Some bullish activity, perhaps. I don't
Mm.
see a whole lot on my screens, but yeah. And so we got a question here. Sid, you want to know how to set up these lines with percentages on DOS? Here we go again. Sid, the Fibonacci line tool on DOS. You select that and you can configure it. What I've done is I've just configured it to give me equidistant lines. That's all. Nothing to it. I've just repurposed the Fibonacci tool to turn it into a measured move tool. So we have to rename it as well. We got to call it like Avi's magic indicator or something like that now. We gotta coin this thing. No more Fibonacci.
Yeah, make it your own. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna call DOS, have them do it, and then have them pay me royalties for that or something.
Yeah. So you do use Fibonacci though, eh? That's kind of interesting.
No, actually I don't. I have played with it in the past, but I don't use it.
Oh, okay.
I never
I
used
thought
it
you did.
consistent.
Okay.
No, all I do is
Okay.
measured move. I'm just repurposing the Fibonacci tool, so it does not give me Fibonacci percentages. It just gives me equidistant lines. So I just put these numbers in there so it's equidistant. And makes it easy to just put the lines on the chart. Otherwise, you can just draw horizontal lines, no big deal, right?
Sure.
So, Damon, Pro, you want to call him Avenacci level? That works too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
We could do something like that. We'll do a competition for naming this thing, and whoever comes up with the best name will do some sort of free mentorship with me or something. How about that, guys? You want to do something like that? Something of that nature? Get people engaged about finding a name for this. Crowdsourcing, right?
Hmm.
We have here a question. Division V, you want to know about NVIDIA at the open, the pre-market breakout retest, market bullish candle. Yeah, let's look at NVIDIA. So Division V, yeah, this makes sense, right? On NVIDIA, you can see where the line is the top of the 8 a.m. candle, broke out pre-market, came back, retest, and then just bounced right off there. It did not do the retest the way I like it to, so I didn't touch this. And also, I'm intentionally just sitting out these big volatility candles at the open. So, but yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the whole thing happened on a few months ago. I probably would have gotten involved in this sort of thing, but I don't want to anymore. So yeah, it's a good one. You caught that. It works perfect. Thanks, Evangelos. Um,
Interesting. Baba's coming back up here. I don't know. Few people had Baba on their screen today. We're watching that.
oh yeah, look at that. Baba again, to my eyes, looks like another
Big move.
fallen angel setup. Gap up, sell off at the open
Yeah.
on a 500. You can see
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and boom, break the
I
opening
always find
price.
Baba's hard to trade. I find Baba hard to trade just because it kind of chopped at the open, then it did a breakdown. This is another example of a stock that broke down below the low of day, made a low, broke down below the low of day, and then snapped right back up again. And that's when it really started to move up. I mean, this is kind of I would call this an A plus setup, just like the
Yeah.
Tesla one was earlier, where you had a low and then a lower low and then just a snap right back. Now Tesla, you see, Tesla could not get through PDC, so the sellers started stepping in, the buyers started giving up, saying, "Okay, I guess we're not going to be able to push this through PDC," and now the buyers are exiting, and the sellers are taking control here.
Yes, there it is. Amazing. You can just see how it behaves at levels, and it always does something interesting. There's always
Yeah,
three possibilities at levels. Either it bounces off a level, rejects a level, or it gets stuck at a level. Either one of those three. So,
and just looking back at this Tesla chart here, it actually did almost the exact opposite. It did the exact opposite of what it did when it bottomed. So we had a test of PDC, and it rejected right there, which is very common. And then it came back up again right at 1042, and it actually tried to break out. So it made a new high, but right away, the sellers stepped in and started selling it. So there's the opposite setup. You know, the buyers didn't have the horsepower to push this, to keep this above the market high and that PDC level. So again, we sold off after that happened. So
Very neat. Yeah, you can look at
yeah,
these patterns at levels, Pearson fail or false breakout. You could call them either way. I
yeah,
think Jared calls it Pearson. Yeah,
Pearson fail. Yeah,
very cool. And yeah, snapbacks after deeper pullbacks. Or if you have double bottoms or tops, you have higher lows or lower highs. I mean, there's so many ways to see it. That's pretty
yeah,
cool. Got a
absolutely.
question, a question here in the chat on YouTube. Timakano British. Sorry if this has been asked, but how and when do you determine those three blocks go upwards in the middle or go lower? How do I determine that? I determine that based on the price action. So let me show you a good example here. Here, Amazon's a good one. So at the open, before the market, or right as the market open, I just drew it like this, right? You got the lines there, high and low of the 8 a.m. candle, and you just straddle it, and you know it's opening there, so that it's got covered. But then when Amazon went up to this level, 231.60, and moving up, well, I need levels further up, so just take the tool and push it up, equidistance lines, right? And it goes further up from there from 232.68. So again, make sure you put it in the right place. You can reference the 8 a.m. candle, and there it is. That's how I use this tool. So I've just reconfigured it so it's easy for me to just kind of move it on my chart as I please. And it saves about 10 seconds of work every day. So that's how that works. Sagar, you want to know about Apple reversal? Okay. Apple reversal. All right. See, in my view, the first thing you have to have for a reversal to happen is you have to have a direction. It has to go in one direction and reverse go in the other direction, right? So tell me, what direction is Apple in or has been in so far today? I certainly can't see a direction except it's going to the right. It's not going up, it's not going down, it's not going to the right and up, right and down. It's just going one direction. So there's no possibility of what I would call a reversal. Okay, the reversal better be something serious. Reversals are great because you get 10R if you do it right. This doesn't have any of that potential to it, not to my eyes. So I wouldn't be bothered with this. On the other hand, if you look at something like NVIDIA has been tremendously directional, right? Straight up front. And maybe then if it sets up for a reversal, that'd be cool. I don't see a setup right now. But this at least has a clear direction. Now it's consolidating at about just above 134. It could reverse, it could continue, it could just stay there all day. I don't know. But the first prerequisite is it's got to have a direction. And then you look at reversals. Let's see, Amazon, same thing. Long, and then maybe it reverses. I don't know. Yeah, you guys got it in the chat here. Choppy, no direction. Brian, we got a question here for you from Mr. Manu. What's your
yes.
DOS VWAP setting? Do you include the pre and post market hours, or do you reset it at the beginning of the day?
You always have to re-sign in, or you have to sign in every day on DOS. Otherwise, it distorts your data. You don't get accurate data. So as far as my VWAP goes, I'm pretty sure I include the pre and post market or pre-market. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I calculate VWAP for pre and post market hours. Yes. So I've got the other two boxes that are here. Reset anchor period is not clicked, and don't reset VWAP in the beginning of each day. I don't have that set either. So standard deviation is 2.
There you go.
Seems
Cool.
those levels seem to work for me.
Nice.
For
I think
those
most people,
settings.
Yeah, I think most people in BBT use VWAP, including the pre and post market. Some guys do it with, I think Paras has two different VWAPs. I think Thor for a while did not include the pre-market, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, most people in BBT just keep the VWAP as Brian described it, including the pre and
Yeah.
post market. Mhm. Oh man, you guys in the chat, seriously, Sid, you're gonna start using Avinacci lines now. This is becoming a thing today.
It's
Going
become
viral
a thing
already.
today, like that.
I am not Italian. You can't put Nachi at the end of my name, you know? It's a bit of a travesty. But what's your
Yeah,
question about these?
exactly.
I mean, so Sid, your question about this is you're trying to put these Avinacci lines, but not sure where to start. Could you draw one and show me? Unfortunately, you're not able to see this on YouTube. That's why we have the chat room. If you can kind of somehow see my cursor on the screen, you got the drop-down menu on DOS for all these indicators. You select that and go to Fibonacci line. All right. So once you do that, then you'll get your cursor will turn into something like a pencil, and you can actually draw the line on your chart. If you see, I just drew one right there. Right. And then what I do is I just right click it. I did that only once and go to the configuration of it. And in the configuration, you can see, okay, there you go. You guys can see this in YouTube now. So in the configuration, you can see the settings I've put in. Basically 0, 33, 66, and 100. Those are the only 4 lines I have. So 0%, 33%, 63%, and 100%, which is basically 4 equidistant lines. That's it. I'll leave this on the screen for a few minutes for you guys. And then once you
Wow.
set, you don't have to do anything else to it. It's just repurposing the tool. That's all I've done, really. Yes, and it's Avinacci. Hashtag Avinacci. Everybody, let's go, man. Let's do this. Let's get on
Yeah, let's
X
get
and
that hashtag going.
yeah.
Wow,
Man, Mr.
Microsoft's breaking out here. We're just getting all the Mag 7 are just breaking out here.
Yeah. Wow, look at that.
Except for Meta. Meta's not doing very well, but
Mhm. Yep.
Netflix is killing it today. Man, we had a pull. I was looking at it earlier, it was pulling back, and now it's just been a ripping. It ripped through Friday's high. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, a lot of action. I see AMD and Microsoft both pushing, Amazon as well, and Netflix, NFLX. Oh yeah, man, Netflix. Brian, do you have much experience with options on Netflix? Are they decently liquid, like Tesla's options for day trading purposes?
Most of the Mag 7 options are pretty liquid. Let's take a look at some of them right now. You can just tell by looking at them. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no problem with the Mag 7. It's Netflix that I've been curious about for a while. I don't trade it just because of options, but yeah.
Netflix
Interesting.
is one of these stocks that could split too this year. I mean, you could see the stock splitting. Now, the spread on the options is not as good. So you've got 40-cent spread, which is pretty wide. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
60-cent spread on the call side. I mean, if you compare that to Nvidia, um, mind you, it's a higher price, but I mean, if you compare it to Nvidia, for example, like the spread on the 130 puts right now is 2 cents.
Yeah, big difference.
So yeah, big difference. And it does make a difference. I mean, if you're trading options on Netflix, you're probably doing it for a swing trade. You'd probably be better off doing it for a swing trade than a day trade. If you're trading options, you want stuff that's really liquid, and so the stocks that are really liquid in the options market are, Tesla is one of the big um, option trading stocks that a lot of retail traders trade. And yeah, if you look at their spread right now, it's like on the 360 puts, it's 10 cents.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
360 calls, 10 cents.
See it. It's very nice. Yeah,
So
easier this.
yeah,
Yep, that's the point. That's what I've actually done is because I decided to move into options, it's already been a couple of years. I narrowed down my watch list to just purely the only stocks that have active options, which are this Mag 7 and AMD. And I haven't really touched anything else in a long time. So that's the reason for it, for having this watch list. And well, now if I was to go back to equities, I wouldn't even change the watch list just because one thing is familiarity, but the other thing is also I notice enormous amounts of opportunities in just in these tickers anyway, that at least for the way I see things, I don't need to go chasing stuff around the market. So yeah, options liquidity, a big, big deal, guys. The spreads get nasty. I can tell you that. I trade them every day. It can get nasty. So you got to be careful. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to grab some breakfast. Hope everyone had a good morning. Thanks again for people who joined us on YouTube as well. Um, Again, you can join us in the room. Pretty cheap. If you wanna take advantage of that. And other than that, we will be. There is some stuff coming up this week. We've got CPI data on Wednesday and PPI data on Thursday. That, of course, will be watched by everybody to see what inflation looks like. And of course, tomorrow, I think we've got Fed Powell starting to testify in front of Congress. 10 o'clock. That should provide maybe some entertainment as well. So other than that, this week, as far as earnings goes, we will be covering earnings on Tuesday afternoon. I believe you've got Dash, SMCI, Lyft, and what's the other one? UPST. So we'll be covering those earnings. We'll be doing a show starting around 3:30. You want to join us then? But other than that, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Cheers, everybody.
Awesome.
See you, Avi. Have a good one.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks a lot. Take it easy. Great job
All
today.
right. Yeah.
All right, guys. That was fun. Always a blast coming on and chatting with Brian. He's got a tremendous amount of knowledge and experience to share, so always fun. What's going on here in the chat? You guys are all over this Avinacci thing, man. I can't get used to it yet. Oh man. Yeah, good point here from Cam1111. On different platforms, people struggle to get the 8 a.m. candles. So I use DOS, I get it from there. But I've heard Yahoo Finance also provides them pretty well. So give that a go. We've got McCarthy, you're saying Avi distant lines. Gosh. What can we use on TradingView? Richie, actually in my mentee group, a couple of the guys, actually one of the guys is he's actually coded something in TradingView to get this indicator on there on Python and stuff. So he knows more about that. I haven't got a clue. I don't do anything with TradingView, but it can be done. MG, naked Avi lines. Now, MG, we're gonna get banned on YouTube and Twitter and everywhere. So let's not be too provocative. I mean,
Hey, Abby, what's going on? I'm just gonna switch off from the chat room, guys. So thank you for joining us in the chat. We're gonna continue on YouTube with Abby and myself. So let me just disconnect here. And Thor's next up in the chat room with our members there.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. Might be a PineScript, not Python. Sorry. See, I don't know anything about coding. And real quick, guys, question here on the Microsoft reversal opportunity. I just entered that right now as we were talking. First trade of the day. So let's see what happens. Reversal on Microsoft. It's just stuck there for now. Let's see. Good to get into something. It's been a while. Rabowski, there you go. Thank you. Yahoo Finance 8 a.m. levels are just about the same. So there's one way to get it. Cool. So what else we got here? Now Apple is getting a little more interesting. You can see it's at the low of day where it previously found major buyers, but it's made a new deeper low so far. Perhaps low of day break, perhaps, maybe. Could you see this as a setup going down for the breakout? I don't know. I don't see that, but it might get interesting finally again. Yay, Microsoft on the way. There we go. I was telling my mentees this morning, I showed up to trade. I'm like, I just feel like it's not Monday yet. It just doesn't, I don't have the right mindset. I was just, it's still Sunday. It's still Sunday afternoon on the beach. It's like, I just had that mindset when I showed up to trade today. I'm like, really? What's wrong with me? But sure enough, you get into your regular routine and the head follows. And it's been what, 2 hours, hour and a half since the market opened, whatever it is. And definitely my head's in the right place finally. But it took a bit of some days are like that, right? You wake up slow. So it was one of them. Still, Antonio, you're looking at big flag building on Tesla. Flag, okay. Well, if you're looking at it, made a bullish move and it's consolidating in this area, you could call that a flag if you like, yeah. I just call it consolidation. Probably the same thing, right? Let's see, it could break out somewhere. We don't know yet. We'll know when we know, eh? Ricardo, the advantage to trading these leveraged ETFs is that you get more leverage. I don't know much about the margin requirements. I've never touched them. But you get more leverage, just like trading options, like what I'm doing here with options, same sort of thing. Faraz, you want to know about Microsoft? All right, so my thinking on Microsoft is basically made a big bullish move, put in a beautiful hammer, just how I like it. Very bearish right at the level. And what I like really is that the hammer went through the level. It's not like the hammer top is at 415 and the bottom is down here, and then you're entering somewhere in the middle. That's no good. This you can enter at the new 5-minute low with a stop just above the level, or be conservative further up as you please. And you get a good risk to reward. The setup is good because there's a couple things happening here. One thing is it's at a level, at a zone. The other thing is that there's room to the left. It has not been here in a very, very long time, not since the previous trading day at the open, and then it departed that area too very quickly. So room to the left and a good candlestick pattern setup. You could say that the hammer happened after a bullish candle, so you want to be careful, but this is not truly a giant bullish candle. The earlier one at 10:05, that's the one I'd be careful with. This hammer happened pretty good, pretty good. So this is worth putting the risk on. And here's the thing, once you put on the trade, the truth is you never know what's going to happen next. Even on a perfect setup, you could get stopped. You always got to remember that. So it could go, it could not go, I don't know. But when the setup comes, you must put on the trade every single time. That's part of my trading book. So put it on if it's there, and then detach. Put your orders in and let it go. Let it run. Either it goes or it doesn't. And that's not in your hands, not in your control. So that's how I see that. Hey, Carlos, you having fun yet today?
Yeah, man. Frustrating day today, but I'm always having fun, man. Always having fun. And win or lose, it's always fun. Oh man, it's better. It's better when you win, though.
It is better when you win.
Oh, it's so much better when you win. But yeah, man, it's as again, I just like you. Those great opportunities. I missed such a good trade on which one was it? I think was it Nvidia, man. Such a great setup, and I just did not pull the trigger. And the stuff I did pull the trigger on was pure garbage. I'm actually in SMCI right now. I went long around 10:45, so probably gonna stop me out. Now I'm still in it. Didn't really get a push. It got like a one spike up, came right back down. Now I'm below my entry. So if we don't start going in my direction, if we start losing this 20 moving average, I might just bail out of the trade, which is about to do that any second now. So yeah, it's again took it for like a half day breakout. Looked like it was gonna go, and it's not going now. So I'm gonna pull the trigger here. Yeah, I'm gonna get stopped out on this. So we'll get out of this trade, and we'll call it here, man. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. There you go, guys. Risk management at its best, right? It's not working. Get out.
Yeah.
Don't bag hold.
Yeah.
Really good.
And I held on to this. I'll show you what this guy looks like here. I forgot to hide the triangles again. That's okay. Triangles are for our people in chat. But here's my entry. So I just kind of took a look for a half-day breakout here, and again, just didn't do nothing this whole entire time here. Just stuck. And now it's just stopped me out, so we'll see where it goes here. Watch it go to like the all-time highs now after stopping me out. That's what stocks usually do. So that was that one, and And then let me show you the one that I missed was NVIDIA, man. Where's the cursor here? NVIDIA. There's no excuse, man. I was watching this, and there was just no excuse not to take this trade. Awesome trade. I mean, you had everything going here. You had the ABCD pattern forming here. I was looking at entering right in this area, and I just did not take the trade. And there's just no excuse for that, man. It was just perfect. But yeah, didn't pull the trigger, and that's upsetting because, man, that's the type of day that sets up the week, right? You're in at 131 and you get to 135.50. Of course, I would have taken tons of parcels on the way up here, but that's a trade that sets up the week, man. And I missed it. So don't know what's going on.
You missed it. It happens, bro. It happens. As
Yeah,
you know.
it does. That's not the first or last time that will happen. Yeah, but SMCI was garbage. Yeah, it really was, man. I took that trade, SAC over on YouTube. I thought it was a good trade, but I knew there was no volume, so I knew I had to give it a pretty wide stop and give it time. But it's just continued to be garbage. Did nothing. So, not the best outcome.
All right. Cool.
All right, let's see over on YouTube. What do we have? What questions do you guys have today? What are you guys looking at? What do you guys are in this morning? What's cracking today? Abby, and I think I overheard you said no trades for you yet.
I just got into one right now, right as you were coming on, short
Okay.
Microsoft. So still sitting around my break-even point, has not moved yet.
Yeah.
So let's sit, looking to get down through 413. It's the only one so far, the only attempt at interacting with these markets so far this week. So
Okay.
see, but yeah, we
Just
gotta get
Monday.
into.
We're getting
And
the engine started, so we'll catch some stuff here, hopefully.
Yeah, it's just this. I don't know. This Monday to me feels like a Sunday. I'm just not all there yet.
You're not ready. You're not
So
ready to start the week.
I really didn't want Monday to happen this week so fast. Oh well, it is.
SAC, it is because so SAC's comment is it's a good feeling when you lose the same trade as Carlos and now, because then that means we're all looking at the same thing. Like we all had the same idea, and most often not that idea works. And today it didn't, right? So we're all looking at the same thing here, and it just didn't pan out. Which again, it happens. You saw Thor also struggle today with some of his stuff. Maybe the market just wants to be a little bit calm today until things get going. Again, we got CPI data, we got earnings coming up later in the week as well. So maybe after that stuff, we'll get something. We'll find something to look at and take advantage of. But yeah, man, NVIDIA, I'm upset. I didn't take, not upset in a way like, oh my God, I'm gonna change my trading plan to be more aggressive. It's just that there was just no reason. So that would have been my trade today. Then everything else I had on deck didn't really move well. Like all my watch lists, there's nothing here that I could have said, oh man, I missed that trade. Everything looks very, very choppy. So there was not a whole lot of opportunities as far as the stuff I was watching on my list today.
Yep, fair enough. I feel the same. Even I didn't see any setups until now.
Yeah.
And I saw lots of movement, but I couldn't get into any of them just because the setup was not for me. So you got to sit and wait. If it's not there, it'll be there later. The market is a gold mine. Always have opportunities. So just wait for it.
Yep.
And Tesla, we got a question here. Tesla, yeah, it's at the high of day area. It looks like it tried to break out a moment ago. Let's see what happens. Tesla wants to go. How far can it go? Let's see. Let's move these measured move lines up, whatever you guys call them nowadays. We have like 3 different names for them. 365, 70-ish, so yeah, right up in that area, which is also an intraday level on the previous trading day. Look at that, just about 366. Yeah, interesting area, huh? 365.50. That would be the target if I was long here. So there you go, Tesla. Yeah, we're having too much fun on these coming up with names on YouTube. We gotta do this because Thor's got these cams and stuff. John's got these hot pickle levels. It's high of day and intraday stuff. Yeah,
We
I
do
feel
need
left
a
out.
hobby. Avi name trade. Avinachi is what I heard. I heard saying Avinachi.
Yeah, from Fibonacci because I'm abusing
Let's
his
go.
tool. Yeah. Oh wow.
Agree,
That's
Eric. Good buddy, Eric. Good member of ours. Met him over on was it Vancouver? Vancouver. He brought the garbage truck. The garbage truck you see behind Brian's setup was Eric. Eric brought us the garbage truck, so pretty cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, you got to pick your poison, man. 100%. Today's not it. Still so much trading left to do. So if if your strategy develops in a couple of minutes here, you can take advantage. We'll see if any news breaks out. Someone mentioned in chat that Trump is gonna do some executive orders at 1. So let's see what kind of stuff he signs off on these tariffs for U.S. steel and I forget the other imports he's looking to put tariffs on. So we'll see how that affects the overall market. But other than that, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
SMCI is making me feel good. It's going below my stop. See, that's what I want to see. I want to see it collapse to like 0, and like, yeah, right decision. I don't want to see this go up to like 40 or 50. I'll be pissed. But this is looks like it's collapsing here. So we'll see.
Nice.
But overall, man, SMCI, like I know today was a bad day, but it's been trading pretty well. And just look at the daily too. The daily it's been ripping, man, since the 4th. It's just been up here. So you're going on 4 green days on this one, and it's green now, but again, not trading all that well as far as breakouts.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Nvidia now perhaps breaking to the downside. Interesting. Maybe a pullback or reversal, whatever you want to call this. Something's happening here.
Yep.
Same thing with I don't know. Interesting.
Just gotta
Cool.
sit and wait the same way I gotta sit and wait for my leather jacket to arrive. I'm waiting on that. But by the way, they definitely have some security issues. The minute I order from there, I got tons of spam. It's like, dude, what the heck is going on? So I'm like, what is happening? I'll show you some of them. It's so funny, and it actually is not funny because people do actually get caught in these things. That's why they're so aggressive. So, and that's a great time to remind you guys, we will never send you a private message text saying, or usually on social media saying, hey, we got a special circle of platinum group and join here. We will never do that. So if you hear from any of us directly trying to sell you something, it's not us. And these guys are pretty good at copying our social pages and copying everything the same, our picture, but we will never reach out to you on something like that. So just be very, very mindful. And every time I get a message like, oh, this package is waiting for you, if it's something that I'm actually waiting for something, then I call the UPS number directly or call the FedEx number directly, but I never call whatever number they give me. It's just never good.
Yep. Good.
So just
With all that.
Yeah, don't get got, stuff like that. But yeah, let me show you here. So funny. 2 of these came in for me. So here's the first one. This was yesterday, I believe. So if you want a job, here's one. You can call that number and you can get a job with Timo Services USA. They say they review my background, which I don't know what background they review. They like what they saw, and they can offer me a job making $50 to $500 a day. So if you're not, if trading is, if you're after trading, you have some time, this is something you could look into. Completely kidding, by the way. But yeah, as soon as I placed that order, I started getting these. Here's another one as well. Go pay your toll pass, I guess. So yes, it's just be careful, man. They're aggressive out there. Timo's got to fix their security system. They got to figure that out. Somebody's leaking information. All right.
They don't have the same kind of consumer rights laws we have in the United States. So,
Yeah, it's all reckless out there. Spies collapsing over on YouTube. Let's check. I don't know if I would yeah, it's dropping, but it's right at VWAP, right? So let's see if it does continue. I wouldn't consider a collapse just yet, but we are seeing it reverting back to the VWAP here, kind of right back where it opened up. We're just almost no change at the moment as far as the percentage up right now. If you look at this daily, it's almost flat. It's about to be flat. So let's see where it goes really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, you just zoom out a little and you get context, guys, and you see a big 1 minute candle, but really zoom out and you see like it's just kind of right at the opening price.
Yeah,
And you get a bigger time frame, all that stuff. Yep.
How was Uber today? Uber didn't do much. 2 really good days. Today is it's kind of calm, which everything is. So can fault any individual stock on how they're trading right now. Check GLD. Did we check that one? From Surge on YouTube, GLD.
ELB, I haven't looked at it. There it is. Gold looks like it's not going anywhere. Yeah, there you go. GLD gapped up. What happened? Gold price went up today. Who bought gold? A lot of you guys bought gold over the weekend, right?
Nice.
Controlling the gold market.
Nice.
Oh. Y'all want to see a real tragedy? It's like Shakespearean tragedy right here. I can show it to you on the screen. It Meta came down, put in the double bottom, but my criteria tells me that this bullish candle has to be truly bullish, as in it should not have this big wick on top of it, basically. Then you entered the new 5-minute high. I would have been holding this for the last hour, and it's just such a ripper. Did not take it just because of one of these wicks on one of these candles. It's just not in my trade book. And here we go. It's gone the other way.
Yeah.
But there you go.
What are you gonna do?
Oh my
What are you gonna
gosh.
do, man? It's it is what it is.
One of those.
Did you go short Microsoft?
I did, yes, and I'm about to hit the exit button here. I'm just watching this candle.
Yeah, especially if it makes a new high above that other wick. See what it
Yeah,
does.
but I'm seeing a lot of bullish activity right now, though.
Yeah.
Again, you tighten up your exits. Yeah, okay, that's the exit for me. So took about a half-hour loss, a little less than half hour. Tighten up the exit. So no positions right now. That one did not work. That's one down for the day. And shit, man, Meta. I took this trade on Friday. Pretty much exactly this. I took the big double bottom here and held it for I think 2 hours. Got the whole move without partialing, so that was good. I would have done the same thing today. It's the same trade basically. But there was this one little wick. So you gotta stick to your trade book though. I'm not gonna change the trade book just because today it would have worked.
Yeah, because that will happen, right? You're gonna see things that look horrible and work, and you change the trade book to that, then the rest stops working. Yeah, you don't want to do that, or your win percentage changes. But that's a clean double bottom, man. Which wick, by the way, you didn't like here? Just
look at the second bottom. It has a bullish candle to it.
Yeah.
But on the top of it, it has a wick.
Oh, yeah.
My trade book tells me it has to be a genuinely bullish candle. So that wick should be minimal. The wick on the top is bigger than the one at the bottom, even in this case. So there's there's too much doubt that the sellers could still be controlling this price at about 714. So just for that sense of doubt, I didn't touch it. And realistically, let's say you did get in on this reversal, guys. And if you were actively managing the trade, I mean, look at this. It did 20 minutes of throwing massive wicks against you, and this would be freaking you out most times.
Yeah.
This would have been very hard to manage. My management style is don't look at it. So I wouldn't have known that it's doing this. But again, reversals can get tricky, but if you have some sort of doubt, don't take it, because you will also mismanage the trades that you take if you take them with doubt in your mind. That's one piece of it too. So if I have any sort of doubt in my mind, I just don't touch it. And then this happens quite often. This thing goes and I spend the rest of the week just kind of hitting a punching bag just because I got to get it out. It's one of those things.
Matt Prop says SMCI just popped. I'm not even gonna look at it. It's off my charts. I don't want to know. Did it? You're gonna make me look at it. Let's check. Oh wow! Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Just wait for me, wait to stop me out. But I could not survive that pullback. It went even lower, right? 38.63. So it stopped everybody out, and now it's going to all-time highs. My goodness. That is,
Just,
hey, the market's laughing at me today. I'm looking like
yeah.
Kansas City right now. Wow. All right.
You and me both, man. You and me both.
Oh, man. No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Part of the game, part of the
Yep,
business.
yep. But look at that strength out of nowhere. It's just rocking here, man. Wow. Volume also coming in on this candle where we're above, as far as volume, above all the previous candles since like 10 to 15. So, yeah, something's happening here. Yeah,
Expecting
Eric, I
some
mean,
sort of. Go ahead.
Eric's saying that doesn't trade well, but we see some good out of it. You know, it's a tricky stock, but I see some really good trading out of it, right? So it's, you know, Friday wasn't great, but I think Wednesday, Thursday were okay. But yeah, we see some good trading out of this, like, you know, but yeah, it's this is tricky.
Yeah. I gotta say, I did do options on SMCI for a little while, maybe six
Oh,
months
okay.
ago, whenever that was. My gosh. I mean, the
Yeah.
SMCI is $1,000 thing moving $100 a day, and the options moving like 500% in a minute, in a
Oof.
couple of minutes. And I'm like,
Oof.
whoa, I had to get out. A couple of massive winners,
Yeah,
but you know
yeah,
how quickly that can go against you, right? So I'm just like, you know
yeah,
what? I'm gonna
yeah.
stick to Tesla and Nvidia. Just there's no need to screw around.
Yeah,
That
SMCI
was
has some wild action, man. October, November, into December a little bit. If you look at the daily, I'll show you here. I mean, it was just really all over the place. Let me see right here. Zoom into December, October. Is this it here? Let me see if I can show you. Is that that's the daily? Yeah. So look at that action, man. It's wild. So well, we had some good times. Then we've been flat since then, and now slowly we're getting into some better trading out of it. So, but yeah, man, it is going here. It's gonna go to 40. Can you believe this? I can. Been here a few times, but man,
what you gonna do, huh? Just let it run.
that's it.
Seeing some SMCI. Wow.
Yeah, just
Were
keep
you
rubbing it in
expecting
SMCI.
is there some catalyst on it today or just now in the last
Well,
few minutes? You
they
think?
got their earnings coming up tomorrow, which I heard Brian mention too. We are going to be covering that on Tuesday. So earnings tomorrow after hours. They, you remember these guys had issues. This is why they gapped down to begin with. They pulled the numbers down. If you guys remember that, right? They pulled their forecast, so they didn't do earnings. I forget the whole story, but something was happening there. Their CFO or chief financial officer, you know, left. So that's not a good, never a good sign. So they had a huge drop after that, and we'll see tomorrow what they do. So
Yeah, interesting. We'll see.
Jess, it's good. It's a business update tomorrow, so it's not even an earnings report. That's interesting because I know if you're listed, you have to provide these earnings reports. So if they're doing something different, that's interesting, other than an earnings. But there is some requirement, like if you're listed, you have to provide, you know, earnings, financial data, or whatever. So let's see.
Mhm. SMCI, huh? I wonder if it's a good buy for some sort of leveraged 6-month hold.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know, man.
This
It's
stock is
tempting to
wild,
think
man.
like it's too much trouble. It's way too much
I'll tell you
trouble.
this though, if they come tomorrow and they show some good numbers, this stock is gonna explode because people like this stock, man. They like to trade this. They see it at a good value here. If they, you know, they're into the computer AI and all that stuff. You know, there's not many stocks that you can still buy that have a low price. For example, like if you look at Nvidia and some other ones, they're almost at the top end. Well, Nvidia dropped a lot, quite a bit in the last couple of days, but they're at the top end of their all-time highs and overvalue. This could be one of those stocks where it might not be overvalue, and if they show some good numbers, man, there could be a lot of buyers in here. So that could affect it as well. We'll see. Tomorrow will be fun, and then Wednesday morning will be fun because we'll be trading it live in at the market open Wednesday morning. So Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
entertaining. Sure. Even
Yeah.
if you don't trade it, it's still great. SMCI.
I think that's probably
Fantastic.
the most interesting stock doing reporting this week. I think for me at least, for the way I think I feel like we're gonna have some opportunities there. But
Hmm.
let's
Yeah,
see
well,
here. Gonna check what we have. Pull up the earnings calendar.
seeing a lot of bearish activity for now, guys. Something's going on.
Let's take a look.
Something's going on. Oh, wow. Uh-huh.
BBT earnings.
You guys catching some of this drop? Anyone in the room? Anyone here?
SPY's dropping.
Well, I'm seeing most things dropping at the moment.
You know what's not
Uh,
dropping? SMCI is not dropping. SMCI is about to do 40. Great job, SMCI. Good stuff.
Oh man,
All
Carlos.
right. Yeah, everything's heading south a little bit here. You're right.
Yeah. Something's going on here.
On Semiconductor ON, the ticker, that one had a sell-off all day long. I mean, it just hit the VWAP and just sold off just gradually. Not a whole lot of volumes. It's not pushing tons of weight around, but just look at the drop. I'm nice and clean. Every red candle after red candles, healthy pullbacks and more red on today.
No.
Oh man, I gotta take this ticker off my charts, man. I gotta take this off. SMCI, seriously.
That's how I'm feeling about Microsoft right now. I got out of it a few minutes ago, and it just did a beautiful pop right now
Man,
down.
we're
So
just getting
what the hell?
played today, man. Our moves are getting played. You know what? We're gonna stop streaming. They're hearing us. They're hearing what we're doing here. They're like, oh, look, Carlos is long SMCI. Let's get him. You know, Avi's short at Microsoft. Get him too. They're just out to get us today.
What
Obviously,
the
that's
hell?
not true. Obviously, that's not true. But damn, feels like it.
It does feel like it.
Oh man.
What a fantastic business to be in.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tesla. I'm in AMD, not dropping either. Okay, so how about now? Because things started moving now. So AMD, oh yeah, AMD's long.
AMD, yep. Just high day break a moment ago.
Yep.
That's good.
AMD is long here, looking strong. And AMD all day has been pretty nice. That's a good 5-minute ORB too. That looks really clean. I did not have this on my list, but you know what? It did the same thing Nvidia did. So yeah, Nvidia was much cleaner though. If you look at the 1 minute on AMD, Nvidia was way cleaner. I think, just my thoughts. Much cleaner.
Yeah, right at the open, NVIDIA was really neat. There we go. My goodness, Microsoft just pissing me off now.
Yeah. Baji Jimov, have I ever tried a 10-second chart? I don't think this. Do we even have that? 10-second chart on DAS? You probably can set it up, but no, I never try a 10-second chart. That's wild. That's
Yeah.
wild, man.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine? I heard of people trying 30-second charts. I heard of that. But 10-second, that'd be wild.
It's too much. It's
But
too
you know what?
much.
I could see that for scalping maybe. Hey, if you're scalping, heavy positions, a couple of penny move could be a big deal. So, but yeah, I heard a 30-second charts, but not 10-second. That's wild.
Guys, you're all going in the wrong direction, man. I went from 1 minute to 5 minute. I'm actually exploring going into a bigger time frame too, like 15
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
You're in the wrong direction. Bigger candles, bigger moves. Think about it and capture bigger moves.
Yeah. But precision. Oh, okay, I see it for precision for the 5 minute. Yeah, I think the 1 minute does a good job.
Pretty
But
good.
hey, I'm always open to look at new things and see if it can help. But again, just look at Nvidia. There's no excuse. The excuse there was just me not taking the trade. I messed that up big time. So everything's set up perfectly for it. Oh, he does? I didn't know he did that. Well, yeah, he's trading. I'm sure he's doing that on like a lower time frame stocks, right? Like I'm sorry, penny stocks, right? Or high flying tickers. I could see that for a scalper, 100%. I could see a lower time frame giving them better, precise entries. I could see that, but I really don't scalp like that. So I'm not sure how that will work.
Mhm. Yeah, it's gotta pay attention to burnout as well. You're trying to decipher a 10-second candle. How many candles you're gonna look at? You're looking at three tickers. There's a lot of candles, a lot of mental brain power, mental capital
That's a
going.
good point. That's a good
Gonna
point
drive
too.
me nuts if I try that. So you want to conserve your mental capital. Don't burn out because when you do get into a trade, you need your mental capital to manage your emotions.
Now,
So don't go crazy,
Abby,
So,
you bring up a good point. So when I first started trading, I had six monitors, right? Six 24-inch monitors. I basically copied Andrew's setup, and
mm,
I had six charts to as my watch list, and I had for every chart, I had the 5 minute, I had the 1 minute, I had the time in
mhm.
sales, and the level two. The amount of data flashing at one point, and on top of that, I kept looking up like this, and that kept getting tiring as well. So I'm like, you know what, this is not working. Because even though you might just be looking at the data and not really analyzing it, your mind is processing it. So you're still processing it, even though if you're not like sitting there, okay, what's the level two doing? What's the price? What's the bid and ask? Your mind's still seeing all of that, still processing the back end. So I'm like, I can't do that. So I went down to just three monitors. I'm still six tickers, but just a 5 minute, and that's it. Just the charts. If I like what I see, I bring it over to my main trading screen, which has a 1 minute, has a 5 minute, has a level two, has a time of sales, has everything I need to make the decision. But it was just wild. So it's,
Yeah.
it's a good point. You don't want to get burned out with all the over data overflow, right? So
Mhm. Yep, yep. You got to be sustainable in this business, in any business, really. So do it at a tempo that you can sustain, really.
yeah,
Otherwise, you're just hyper FOMO, really. You're trying to get in every 10-second candle. That's too
yeah.
much.
No,
Yeah.
look at BP. BP here is. I mean, I don't see much for it. Not a ticker that I personally like, but let's take a look at BP. BP, you thinking long on BP? I mean, you definitely have a 5 day breakout happening here, but man, if you like this and it meets your criteria, you got to sit on it because it's going to take a while to move. So if you like it and it meets your possible breakout, it is strong today, up 7%. Um, this is one where again you got to make sure you're tapped into the Benzinga news from our channel, from our chat room there, and make sure if any news breaks out that you're on it because it doesn't move now, but if news breaks out, especially in this oil type sector, you got to be tapped in because news breaks out and this thing moves ASAP, and you better have a direct feed to Donald Trump, um, because if he sneezes and says oil, this can this can go
Yeah.
against you so fast. You know, you want to be careful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it goes. Boy, energy markets, man. I would never day trade that stuff.
You know, we did have fun with Oxy, and by the way, I just pulled it up. Oxy's moving pretty well. There was a point where we had Oxy every day on our watch list, man, and it was out of all the energy tickers, it was getting great volume. It was moving. Today they're doing some stuff, right? They're up 2.64 million shares traded, but man, they were in play like almost every day because they were passing a lot of different policies at that time. So we had it on our list quite a bit, and actually. I had some good success on it, man. I'm not gonna tell you it's a great trading stock, but we traded it well in the community. There was a bunch of us that had this stock on, and it did all right. But then once all that fun stopped, it was just garbage. Like it wasn't really moving well. But yeah, with all the energy plays, that was pretty good. Jess, you remember that? Okay, good. I have a question for you here. How do you battle? Okay, both of us. How do we battle FOMO, especially as a new trader? It's something that we all deal with, man. Even now, I'm
Yeah.
dealing with FOMO right now with SMCI. Look at that. So, but yeah, how do we do that?
Well, I guess what has helped me a lot is finally acknowledging the fact that the market is a gold mine. There's opportunities every day and at different times of the day, and then tomorrow as well. And then I take a vacation for a week or a month, come back, there's still opportunities. So you miss one, what the hell? Don't matter. There's opportunities. Like you saw, I missed Meta today. It's just driving me nuts. But an hour from now, I'll get another double top, double bottom, whatever. So there's opportunities nonstop. And once consolidate that in your head, that helps a lot. And it took me a few years to figure that out. Otherwise, I'd freak out if I missed the trade, then chase it around or get stopped out and then reverse the position for no good reason. You do all that stuff when you have FOMO. But really just enough experience with the market and you realize, man, it's kind of ridiculous that we're here. We should be so grateful to be here because it is a gold mine and the market will always come to your level at some point or your moving average or whatever your strategy is. Some ticker or the other will come to look the way you like it to look. And then you get a trade and you get 3 or 4 of them in a day. It could be in the last hour of the day, whatever. So that's what has worked for me, just realizing that it's a gold mine. How about you,
Yeah.
Carlos?
For me, man, it took a lot of painful lessons, right? Because it's hard as a new trader, man. I always tell my new guys when they join the onboarding class on the Mondays. By the way, we're doing that tonight. Tonight's Monday, so onboarding at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's one of the hardest things to do. I'm not gonna tell you it's easy and that there's an easy way to deal with it or to stop it, because as a new trader, I remember very clearly the one thing I wanted to do was be in a trade. I just started trading. I got my account. I'm good to go. I want to be in the action. You don't look as not trading as I'm not doing anything, right? And it's painful, man. You want to hit that button, and sometimes when you don't find your setup, you're getting in on stuff that you shouldn't be on just to be in the action. So I think you guys got to realize how critical it is to be disciplined. The minute you start being more disciplined, you're not going to be perfect. You don't make mistakes. We all do. Even now we make mistakes. But the minute you start realizing, if I want to make money on this long term, I have to be disciplined. It's number one rule. And then follow your rules and understand that not being in a trade is trading. You're still getting screen time. You're still going through all your analytical, analysis with the trade book and everything else. You're still doing all of that. So that still accounts for something. You don't have to be in a trade to feel like you're trading, right? So you got to enjoy the process. It's like baseball. It's a great example. You either like baseball or you hate it, right? I like baseball, but I like the defense. I like the pitching. If you don't like pitching, if you just like the hitting, baseball can be very boring unless you're watching like a home run derby contest or something. Because most of the time you're not getting no action. It's just strike out, hit to first base, out, right? You have to enjoy the defense. You have to really enjoy good pitching. And that's like trading. You got to really enjoy the process of being here, waiting for the setup. That's a must have. Serge, do we trade on vacation? I used to. I don't anymore. I don't because a few times after when I'm on vacation, I'm with the family, I'm with the kids, and a few times I've been in trades and I'll get stuck, like meaning like, okay, I have to watch this trade. And now my wife is like, hey man, it's 9:00 and I'm trying to go do stuff and I'm here on the computer or on my phone looking at it. Too stressful. Even on winning trades, it's just I want to be more in the moment. And as I got older, I realized that like be in the moment, and trading allows you to do that because you got a lot of free time. But what's the point if you're going to be on the phone or on a laptop every chance you get? No, not no more. I go on vacation. I even leave the laptop at home. I don't take it anymore. I don't take trades. I'll look at my swing trades, but or long-term stuff the night before, but I'm not stuck to that screen. Now, don't get me wrong. I got to give you both sides. I'm always trying to be very unbiased on these things. Making money on vacation is the greatest feeling in the world.
Yes.
There's nothing like you sitting there and making a good trade, making $300 and And next thing you know, you're by the pool, you're by the beach. There's nothing like it. So I've been through that. It feels unbelievable. So you should do it. You should try it. And if it's for you, it's for you. Everybody's different. But man, Avi, that's an amazing feeling, man. I'm sure you've done it a couple of times.
Yes, yes, I have done it. Paying for the whole vacation while there,
Oh,
it's like
it's a
it's
beautiful
amazing.
thing. It's a beautiful thing.
But I'm like you too, because I'm going on vacation for a purpose, which is to spend time with my family, or if I'm going with friends, or
Right.
whatever I'm doing. And then the whole purpose is defeated if you start focusing on day trading and you're sitting there now all
Yeah.
day, and what's the point of that? So yeah, man, yeah, I'd rather just not. I don't trade anymore on vacation. I let it go. I do the vacation. I come back when I'm here. I'm trading. I'm focused.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, keep it clean.
And losing money sucks on vacation. Really, it's like the same effect because it kind of ruins your day. So, yeah, at least at the beginning. Now I don't care as much. But at the beginning, when like every trade counted, like man, you want to make sure you got this. Yeah, red days were horrible. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that just
Yeah.
don't bother with it. Someone mentioned YouTube. Bob is breaking out. Bob was another excellent five. I had this on my watch. I didn't see it. Another excellent 5 minute ORB breakout around at 10 o'clock. Just a beautiful setup, and then it got going here. So testing that 110 level. Look at this level we have here. I'll show you on my charts. I have 110. This is the 5 minute here. Look at this 110 level that we have. We're literally having a struggle right here, right now. I think that's off the daily, but yeah. So that also had a nice breakout. Let's see if we can get going above this level. But it might struggle here because we have had resistance all day, right at this 110.40 level that we have.
Mhm. And we looking at, yeah, someone here's asking about, who's asking? Lego Mania asking about Microsoft double top. Yeah, you can see it happened. If you're looking at a double top, but then the entry criteria would be for me enter right about 414.30, which is now basically in the middle of the range. Very hard to take that entry, so I wouldn't take that. I didn't take that.
Yep.
But this kind of sucks because as it pulled up, I tightened my exit and took the stop out, and now it's going. But that's part of the game. You manage risk. It could have, when I took the exit, it could have easily continued going against me. And if I didn't exit, that would have been a massive loss. So that's why you
Yep.
take that exit. And after you exit, you don't know. It'll go in your favor, it won't, whatever. You're not in it anymore. You manage your risk and you survive another day. So, oh well, this is what happens. We could have gone a smaller size, kept a wider stop. I didn't do that in this case. I had to keep the tight stop in there. And that's how
Yep.
that goes. You can control it.
So it is. As I see SMCI pull back. Speaking of that, right? Not getting stopped out here. SMCI pulling back to the 9. Let's see if it can hold. We're seeing some buyers come in here, but not sure if they're strong enough to get it back up to 40, above 40. So let's see how this candle here on the 5 minute is going to be important because if we can close green, it's going to show. It might show a sign of strength, and people just might jump in on this pullback that we're getting. So right now, this is a question we get a lot. I get a lot from new traders. Is okay, is this a pullback or is this a change in direction? They both look the same. There's no way to tell the difference between a pullback and a change in direction. So it's all about what's the next candle going to do, right? Right now, it's a healthy pullback to the 9 moving average. Also depends on what time frame you're looking at, right? Some of it has a different time frame. This could be nothing at this point. Or if it's a 1 minute, it could be a change in direction already for them. They got in short at 40.40, 40.20, and now back down to 39. So let's see if it can hold this 9. Right now, it's not looking good, but let's see. Let's see what it does.
Nice.
We're just talking about that surge. So GLD reversal or pullback. Let's take a look. From where? From where? From the highs? I don't see that as a pullback from the highs on a 5 minute. Avi, what's your thoughts?
It just looks like it's a whole lot of chop. I mean, it gapped up. If you look at all the action from the pre-market through till right now, it hasn't really gone anywhere. It doesn't really look like it wants to go anywhere. It just broke the low of day. So maybe it may begin a trend down. Don't know. But I'm just
Yeah.
not convinced of anything on this thing. It's just the way I see things. Don't touch it. Don't touch it to day trade today. Yeah.
And it's a tough ticker to trade too, gold. It doesn't move like our normal stock companies that we watch. So you gotta you got to trade it a little bit different. I don't trade this at all, so maybe this does look good for someone that trades on a regular basis. For me, I personally don't like it. Um, so
Yeah. We got JJMA wants me to look at Apple. What are you saying? You got stopped out on Apple, move away from breakouts at 10:05. You got a breakout, you stopped. Yeah. That's why I don't trade breakouts anymore. Because when you're doing it really well, you're getting 2 hour trades, a lot of break evens if you're managing your risk very tightly as you should. And because a lot of them are false breakouts. And it's just a lot of use of mental capital without a lot of reward. And I like those 5-to-1 or 10-to-1 kind of trades, which breakouts don't give you a lot of that. So
yeah, yeah.
that's just my style. I avoid breakouts. So there you go. If you're not managing risk in a very tight manner with breakouts, as in move it to break even quickly, then I suggest you take a look at that.
But
'Cause,
when did you take this JJMA? This breakout on the 1 minute looks pretty clean. So I wonder how you traded it. If you waited, if you're not near the VWAP, yeah, you're gonna get slammed here. But if you look at this, because this is usually what I take. I don't, and it's funny because you don't take breakouts, but I take breakouts, right? So we watch things a little bit different. And you're absolutely right. Your stop has to be tight, and you're not getting 7 hours on this thing. It's just not gonna happen. You have to have the mentality. You got to get, you get 3. That's on the higher end of these breakouts. It just don't run like that. But if you're looking at here's where I would have taken this breakout, right? Because I'm kind of trade off the VWAP. I would have taken it here. And this is actually a great setup. Like, I like to see the candle close above the VWAP. I'm not jumping in on this one because usually you could get a fake out. It can come right back down. But this one here, after it goes below and comes back up, that's your entry right there on the VWAP breakout. That is the entry. And then your stop loss, either the low of that candle or just when it loses the VWAP. And sometimes losing the VWAP could be when the weight goes under the VWAP and back up. It usually could be when it closes below the VWAP, right? And obviously not below this candle. That could be an indication that the trend is not continuing. But this is the breakout. Now, if you're getting in for a 5-day breakout, that's a tough one. I wouldn't recommend it unless we get a good consolidation. And here's why: because look at the candles. Look how many green candles you have here. There's a pullback coming somewhere eventually. You just can't, this is not healthy. You can't keep going like this without a pullback. You got to pull back eventually. So yeah, I guess it kind of depends how what breakout you're talking about here. Too far from VWAP. Oh yeah, 230, 60. Oh, so you're getting in. Yeah, that's too. For me, again, everybody's different. For me, this is too far. Because your first rejection is going to be the high of the day. So you're getting here, you're going 1-to-1. It's not worth the risk to reward, right? So yeah, I'm with you there. But I agree with you, Avi. Like on this, you get 3 Rs. You're not going to get 7, 6, 5. It's just not gonna work.
Different kind of game.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Wow.
What else we have here? RGTI, the ugliest chart I ever seen. Let's see if it's the ugliest I ever seen. It's ugly, but the ugliest one I seen today was SMCI because it left me. That's the ugliest one for me today. RGTI. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that looks ugly today. That's for sure. What else, guys? What else we have here over on YouTube? Guys, if you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. Sitting at 321 likes. But if you haven't had a chance to hit the button now, it'll be great before we hop off here. Hit the button, subscribe. We got a lot of great things coming this week. Avi, you're doing a webinar Thursday on Trading Terminal?
That's right. Thursday, 12:30 Eastern, guys. And come on in there. I'll help you find your trade book, your trading style that suits your personality, your temperament, your appetite for risk and reward. We're going to go through all that stuff. So come on in for that. It'll be fun.
I want to share the link with you guys on how to get there. You come over here, tradingterminal.com, and the homepage. You click on webinars right here, and this is going to take you right to the webinar. And guess what? You do not have to be a BBT member. It's completely free, right? So let me just take the link too and just copy this link, and I'm gonna throw it here for you guys so you don't miss it. So go there, join free webinar in 3 days and 32 minutes. This is coming up, so definitely join us there. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So So we got that. And don't forget, guys, Vancouver, just about putting it all together with the Whistler trip as well. So more and
Yeah,
more people are coming in.
I'm not gonna be able to join the Whistler trip. I gotta let the group know I'm not gonna be able to join. Like, I gotta come back. I got a couple of things at home I gotta take care of. So I gotta fly out Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, I have a blast on
Oh,
the snowboarding, but we'll be there for the rest. So it should be a lot of fun still.
yeah, we'll bring out those leather jackets in
Oh,
Vancouver as we do the education stuff.
absolutely. We'll bring out the leather jackets with it. I'm gonna check how my trade is, how my delivery is going. How's my delivery going? How do I log in here? All right, here we go.
Watch your password. Watch out. Watch out.
I know, right? I gotta be careful, and I've already texted me saying they got a job for me. It's so funny. But you know what? We laugh at it because it's so obvious that it is so bad. But you know, people fall for this stuff. You know, and usually people fall for it when they're desperate, right? One of my good friends got caught with at that time. You know, it was years ago. He was young, and he had a couple of credit card debts, and he got caught with you know, one of these scams will say, hey, consolidate your debt, doesn't hurt your credit card, and he sent an initial amount, and then they call back and say, listen, we worked with the bank. They said it's not going to be enough. We're going to need this amount. And he sent another like $1,000 we're talking about here, 1,500. When you're 22, 23, that's a lot of money, you
Yeah.
know? And then he didn't hear back from them for a couple of weeks. He calls back, hey, I just want to check out my status. When he dialed the number, all they said was thank you. That's it. Thank you, and it hangs up. Like there was a voice note that just said thank you and hung up. And I was like, man, you know, so people get caught. So when you're desperate, even in trading and anything, don't make decisions when you're desperate, man. Just take a step back and think things through. Same thing when you're on a losing streak. Don't go change your trade book when you're on the losing streak. You gotta have a clear head when you're making those type of decisions. Um,
Yeah.
my jacket gets
Absolutely.
here in 3 to 7 business days, Javi.
Oh, good, good, good. Let me know when you're ready. We'll come online with jackets and helmets on just for this session, and then we'll fly that over to Vancouver. Fun, man, fun. Cool. I think you're on mute, Carlos. I can't hear
Oh,
you.
sorry, I'm back.
There
Yep.
you go.
Just wanted to ask if any questions on YouTube before we hop off, guys. It is 12 o'clock, so we're gonna get out of here. Any questions we didn't get to answer? Just checking. Is the free event in Vancouver? No, there is a link. Go to bearwithtraders.com, search, and you'll be able to see the sign up sheet there on everything that's happening and what's taking place.
There you go. A lot of fun, guys. Really, I always say this to you guys. I've never missed a BBT event after the first one I went to. And
Yeah.
it's not just the education, but it's all the conversations that you end up having with people in the hallways and all that stuff, you know. It's tremendous. Just come, seriously.
Yep. What's something wrong with the time in the terminal?
Yeah, it says AM when it should be PM, so just gotta work that out.
Okay. Okay. We'll fix that.
Quick one.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, 12:30 p.m. Yeah, yeah.
It should
All
be
right. Although
PM.
that'd be a good time for you on Dubai, right? What time would that be? 12:30 a.m.
12:30 a.m. Oh, might be like 9 a.m. here or something. I'd be like,
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
just,
yeah, I'm
just
fresh, good
nice
to
and
go.
awake.
Yeah.
Oh man, good times, good times. Guys, always a pleasure joining, having you guys join here and go through some trades, some stocks, and some Temu jacket orders. Always a lot of fun. So hit that thumbs up. Have a great rest of your day. It's a lot happening today. Let's stay on the lookout for news. Let's see if Trump does anything with tariff. And Abby and I will be back tomorrow again to see how this week shapes out. So, well, red days for us, Abby. No green days yet.
Red so far on one trade, but we'll see what happens rest of the day.
Yep.
So,
See how the rest of the day goes. So, all right, guys, take care. Have an amazing day.
all right. Thank you guys. Take it easy. Talk to you soon, Carlos.